Good evening, everyone. How is everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody is staying warm or staying safe. I guess all things considered in the way that the world is, we all need our own perspectives of safety, mental, physical, psychological safety. Or fire safety, certainly on our minds. This is obviously not in any kind of jest. My own personal feelings, thoughts, and well wishes go out to the folks out there in California because, woo, that is pretty messed up. It's scary enough as it is in the world today. Why? Oh, why would we want to put ourselves into a game that would scare us even more than the world as it currently exists? Maybe there's some cathartic rationale to it.
Or we're just a bunch of masochists.
I think so. I think
that's it.
As the meme goes, why not both? Right? So arrayed around me, folks who have been tuning in for a while or perhaps new to our channel. Hi, my name's Matt, and this is Slices and Dices. Slices and Dices is a role-playing game Twitch and YouTube channel. We produce content from a variety of different RPG sources, whether it be Dungeons and Dragons, or this one, Alien RPG, or Star Wars, or Pathfinder to some degree. Lots of different kinds of games. You name it, we've probably played it and are either playing it now or will play it in the very near future. So check us out. I think you'll like what you see. But this game, Alien RPG, is kind of the cornerstone around which we seem to have come to the fore within the social media dripstream. And so we're back. We're back for more. We had some very successful campaigns and cinematic games, but this is our new campaign for Alien RPG, and it's called The Lost Worlds, and it's based on the Building Better Worlds campaign book from Free League. Our friends at Free League were kind enough to create many different worlds in which to die horribly in. This one happens to be one in which all of the player characters are space colonists. Space colonists which are on a mission, which I'm sure we'll get into relatively soon, but these space colonists are all going from world to world to world and encountering various individuals and horrible monsters with which they can, hopefully survive. Sarah, I'm picking up a little bit of hoo-hoo-hoo. I don't know if that's you or if that's like your...
From me?
Yeah, from you a little bit. Not sure. Thank you very much.
I don't think anything's going on here.
Okay. Yeah. Someone vacuuming. I don't know.
No.
Like a blender going off or something like that. That's fine.
No.
Weird. We could figure
Let
it
me-
out. Yeah, I know.
let me
It
try my
literally
right
just started happening. Yeah. That's fine. We'll just keep it going. Thank you for looking into that, Sarah. I know tech issue.
Right now.
It wouldn't be a Slices and Dices stream if there weren't some kind of bullshit tech issue.
And half the time it's me. I'm on the right microphone. Hold on a second.
It's fine. It's fine.
Is the singing kobold doing his thing?
No, that is not Sarah's amazing operatic husband, the singing kobold. That is just some.
I love that I just came back for singing kobold. I was hearing that. I have no idea what's causing it.
It's
Did
cool.
it stop?
I don't honestly. I don't hear it anymore. So whatever you
Okay.
did,
So that
worked.
It just went away on its own. The ghost left the machine.
What a perfect way to segue into introducing our players. Thanks, Sarah. Sarah, you're first. Sarah,
Hi.
Why don't you guys introduce yourself, Sarah?
Hi, how's it going? I'm Sarah. Under the just right under the tires. I'm a little loopy tonight because I had shoulder surgery a couple days ago, so bear with me on that. I'm on a lot of drugs legally.
Oh yes, I'm so psyched. This is the best stream ever.
Getting into her character.
Getting into character. I have been hanging out on Slices and Dices for like 7 years.
Oh my
now,
God, no! 7 years? Holy shit!
Yeah, because it was right about the same time that my husband and I got together.
Oh my God, we've been on streaming for 7 years.
At least, because you guys streamed.
That's right. We streamed before you came on. Yeah, so I'll stop interrupting
you. You had a campaign That's okay. You had one campaign before I came on board, but I've been here for lots of D&D, for all of the aliens except for the last one they just did. So far, I don't have a weird accent planned for this one, but we'll see what happens when my first character dies. After that, all bets are off. And I run Vason here on this channel with some of the people you see on the screen with us as well, which will be coming back as soon as I perfect the next mystery, which is taking longer than I thought it would because life gets in the way. And yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now.
Thank you, Sarah. Let's just go
Half
clockwise.
a heart, it's all I can do.
just do this. Just flip it so fast that nobody sees it. Yeah. Flipping clockwise. Let's go clockwise. So below Sarah, we've got Patrick. Patrick, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, everybody. You haven't gotten rid of me yet. I'm back with Slices and Dices on the player side, here to torture Matt and team up with Sarah and Ben and Julie and Marcus, because it's a family affair tonight. It is so fun to see all of these faces back on camera. I am so glad to be back. I've missed aliens so much. I'm DMing a little bit more. I'm doing more whiskey tastings. The year has already hit the ground running, and I am face first in the gravel. But the good news is I get a Thursday off to come play, and that's all that matters right now.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Some of you may notice, if you are, let's put it this way, audiophiles, or like if you're just strictly focusing on Patrick for the entire time that you're watching the YouTube, that his audio, as you should, because look at the dude. I mean, God, I can't stop looking at him. Is that the audio and the video may be just like off by like a little bit, like a half a second. Don't worry. Like, don't focus so much on that bullshit, right? Just focus on the story and us as the players, and we're all gonna be fine now. How are you? All right, so let's just move on past Patrick. Let's go to the gentleman directly below me, and that's Ben. Ben, tell everybody what's up with you and all that shit.
Yeah, this is my second Alien campaign with you guys, but I've done several other things with you guys before, including getting my face blown over the windshield in Blade Runner. That
oh
was
my
fun.
God, that was great. I mean, horrible, Ben, horrible. I was so
terrible,
sad.
Terrible. But I don't know. Probably gonna have a DM a one shot coming up here for a book that's not out yet called Berserker. So a little Mork Borg for everybody.
I'm
hell yeah!
I am so psyched for that. Dude.
I'm here. I want to play. I only got to run it last time. I want to play.
And by the way, for our Swedes out there who are very insistent on the correct pronunciation, it's Murbure or some shit like that. I completely fucked it up, I think. Right?
I will look it up and try to not screw it up on the live stream.
I mean, it's spelled Morkborg.
Yeah.
And they made a version called Cyborg.
Yeah, they did.
I don't think they're expecting anyone to call it Cybery. So.
Yeah. But we did play
I do have and will run one of these days.
We did play Morkborg, so if you want to go ahead and check out our channel, Sarah Sarah's Morkborg was just unhinged, and I was so down for it.
Murdered everyone
multiple times.
Yeah.
12 characters.
Crazy.
12 characters in 2 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Ben.
So joyful.
To the bottom left of your screen, as you're looking at right now, clockwise direction, is Julie. Julie, tell everybody what's up with you and where they can find you.
Hi, I'm Julie. I am Catalia80 on Twitch. I am Dritzt on Discord. Those are the places you're going to find me. Because I like the peace and quiet of just honestly hanging out with my friends. And you guys are cool. Why would I want to hang out with anybody else?
Oh my God.
Anyway, so beyond that, things going on. I was in the Blade Runner campaign, and my first character death for real was playing Aliens with Matt and Ben, and the little mini series we had. That was fantastic. If you haven't watched that, you should go back and look at it. Honestly, all the Aliens games are, well, let me backstep. All the Slices and Dices material that comes out is really freaking either hilarious or just really well done, or both. So worth the watch. So if you're on YouTube, go check them out.
Thank you, Julie.
Things I'm working on. Blade Runner. I am writing my own thing, so it's taking a little while. I am going off script, and it is. I'm trying not to pull out my hair because I love you, Matt, but I don't want to have the same hairline.
Oh shit!
But-
Nobody does. I don't. I mean, that's fine. I had much better hair when I was younger.
But on that note, I
Conjure him
do
before
have
the dice
things
start rolling.
planned. It is Blade Runner, so I'm building in emotional trauma, and then you can add your own to it later too. So it'll be great.
Julie loves emotional trauma even more, I think, than I do. So just be afraid as the game world experiences. Be very
And I've got
afraid.
way too much crap rolling around in my head. So like, I wish you all very well.
We're all gonna fucking die in our game. Cool. Thanks, Julie.
Oh, we are.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Super duper.
Love you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Julie. And thank you for the compliments, especially some of our earlier catalog. I find hilarious for horrible reasons because they're just awful. So wonderful. Thank you for the compliments, nevertheless. And then finally, to my direct left, as you're seeing him on the screen, is probably the second best bearded person in this group. No offense, Patrick. Ben's is Gandalf-like, and Marcus's is just like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a combination of Saruman and Bluto from Popeye. Like, honestly, it's just like, I just want to like get my hands in
I'll
it.
accept all of that. I accept all of that. I appreciate it.
I also, you know what? You know, the thing of it is, I can't grow facial hair at all. I try, and I look like some kind of horrible person on the FBI's top 10 wanted list. So I tend to not work out too much with the facial hair. So people who can really just fucking milk it, I'm envious at the best and murderous at the worst. So
I'm glad I can make you feel some kind of way about it.
well, you've made me feel something, so that's a step in the right direction. So, Marcus, tell us about yourself, sir.
Draw it on.
Yeah. This is my second Slices and Dices campaign. The last one was, or the first one was Escape from New York, which was tons of fun. So I am so pumped to be back to do this. I am brand new to everything that's happening in Alien RPG for this, so I'm excited to learn and figure it out and die a bunch, apparently. So yeah, I'm really pumped to be here.
Super. Yes, thank you, Marcus, for being the guinea pig. Once you get in, you will never want to leave. I guarantee you that.
It's true.
You just stick your toe in, and the next thing you know, just some horrible monster just pulls you in, and then you know, just toast.
Love it.
So thank you, folks, very much for, of course, being part of the game. I'm just going to say thank you to all of us. Thank you of all of us. Thank you of all of you who are watching in chat here in Twitch. You will see in Twitch that there are some things that you can do during the campaign that will either mess with or help, depending on how many actual points that you want to use. Viewership points, of course, in the bottom right-hand corner. You earn them by watching us on Twitch. There are certain things that you will see that are applicable to this particular game. If at some point in the game you want to, and if the moment is right and the story point is right, you can, of course, use those things for Twitch to affect the story. I'm sure that everybody here in the game will appreciate that very much. Especially me. Speaking of appreciation, I can give you all the appreciation out in the world, but I want to give all the special appreciation to our amazing sponsors. Our sponsors for this particular campaign are several. You will see some of their monikers here on stream. Into the AM, who make amazing outerwear. They've sort of spawned from the t-shirt community and now are branching out into lots of different places. First of all, their t-shirts are fucking awesome. I'm wearing one right now. They're dope. They're buttery. They do not shrink and they don't fade, and their shit. I'm not even going to stand up and show you like Patrick's got one. I've got like 4 or 5 of them.
I've got a bunch.
Sarah's got a bunch. go out and get your sick ass Into the AM t-shirts and or other kinds of wear. I think they've gotten that like long shirts. I think they got pants and all stuff like that. But Into the AM has this awesome what's it called? Special now that you'll see during the Twitch that actually showcases that there's a discount that you can get from Into the AM by using a special code that we have. So go ahead and do that. Another sponsor, of course, is Monument Sound. Monument Sound has been kind enough to gift us their entire catalog of sound effects and music for use in this campaign and in perpetuity, as long as we give them a plug, because their shit is dope as hell. You have to use Monument Sound if you are a GM, because, I mean, why would you not? Sound makes games and makes pretty much any other cinematic experience. So pull your ass out of your chair, typity, go to Monument Sound and get yourself some sounds for your own games. The third and final sponsor of this particular series is our amazing map maker, who has been instrumental, I think, in making our Alien RPG such an amazing success as it is. And that is Jasper Nilsson Siren, who runs Siren's Maps. You see his logo right there on the top left. Jasper is an amazing collaborator and probably makes, in my opinion, some of the best maps for the gaming community, battle maps and just topical maps, period. I went to Jesper before I decided to do this particular campaign and said, hey, Jesper, this particular campaign has X amount of maps. Jesper said, send them to me and I'm going to make them better. And holy shit, did he ever.
Oh, I love his maps.
His
Me too,
maps
they're so good.
are baller. The dude is a champion of map makers everywhere. Check out Siren's Maps. He has a Patreon, and he's got a ton of content for D&D and for Alien and for other games as well. So check him out. Throw him a bone because the dude is a fucking legend. Okay? Amen to Siren's Maps. We'll see him the rest of the campaign. Okay. Red Platinum has cashed in a give the PCs an NDD roll. Well, at some point... Thanks, Red. Good job, man.
Come on, Red.
Yeah, Red has...
Starting early.
So
We haven't even finished character creation.
haven't
yet,
even
though.
made characters yet, and Red's already throwing bullshit. Love it.
God, I love him.
He's just the best. Thank
What
you.
is that, a
Par for the
D6?
course.
Let's see how screwed I am. Let's go.
He's just upset because I killed his character in the last game.
And so badly, too. Just,
Not badly. It was beautiful.
and necessary.
And right on
and
script.
fucking necessary. Yes, Red Platinum, you are you are the villain of this series.
And it continues.
It continues on. So, a question from chat. If I gift a character a piece of gear, which is an option, of course, that you can spend your Twitch points on, do they get it for character creation? I would say yes. I've changed the gear that characters can find, which, of course, Twitch can aid our PCs by giving them these pieces of gear as they
No
find
more
them
constant
through.
bottles of Napro.
I've changed the gear table a little bit because it seemed a little bit restrictive. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to give them like a nuclear bomb, but on the other hand, I am going to give them more options that they'll roll on. Okay. So the answer to your question is yes. So Maeve, of course, being the kind and generous individual that she is, has redeemed, a random piece of gear for an individual PC. So, Maeve, please
A shotgun under the gym bench.
That's so the random piece of gear is restrictive to a certain degree. In that, especially that weapons, since you're not Colonial Marines and don't just like have a whole fucking armory to yourself, weapons are relatively limited. So found gear is not going to be weapons. It's going to be other things that will aid you, but it will not be weapons. Okay?
So no sonic electric ball breakers.
I will put a pin in that one, Ben, and say that maybe you will and maybe you won't. Who knows what's going to be found on
That's
some
not
of
a
these
no.
planets. It's not a no. It's not a no.
Sharp sticks are on the table.
Sharp sticks, for sure.
What what if we gave the candy bar that we drew way too many times in the last campaign different stats so that we don't suffer anymore? Like, what if candy bars are like 200 and we just get the money? And that way the betting is still technically covered. What if we bet in candy bars, Sarah? That's how we do it.
We're gonna be thinking about that. We're gonna be thinking about how we can maybe like have like, you know, Milky Way or Three Musketeers or Hershey's or whatever it is, without them getting pissed at me that says that, you know, like have them send
They're not sponsoring us.
Yeah, they're not sponsoring us. So why the fuck should I, you know, give them the option? We'll like I said, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're gonna get into that. And we can always change things if we need to. So Marcus, being our new player in Alien RPG, you have been nominated to get the additional piece of gear for your character. So folks, here's what we're going to do. I have talked to these folks about what it is that we have planned for our session 0. The session 0 is going to be pretty straightforward. What we're going to do is we are going to first make Marcus's character. Why? Because Marcus has never played an Alien RPG game before, so we're going to make his character with him. And as we very well know, characters in Alien RPG are not difficult or timely to create. They take anywhere between, depending on how much backstory you write, Julie, to let's say 10 minutes to make. I would say, right?
My backstory only took me 5 minutes this time.
Yeah, that means that I'll spend the rest of the night reading it. It's cool.
It's all in my head. You don't have to read anything. It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, it's all in your head.
It's for me. It's not for you.
Yes, 100% true. All right, so with that, I am going to shift us to a screen where we can take a look at the options for Marcus's character. Now, I have on my screen, which I'm going to show. Where is it? Here it is. I have the Alien RPG core rulebook, which I have gifted to all of the players so that they have the ability to go through the characters, go through the understanding of what the mechanics are for the game, what's the sort of overall ideas of how this world is or galaxy is set up, who are the antagonists, who are the different players, who are the different factions, etc., and how you create a character, right? And then in Roll20, I've gifted all 5 of these schlemiels a Roll20 character sheet so that they can create their own characters. Now, for Julie, Ben, Sarah, and Patrick, who have made characters before, they've gone the smart route and created multiple characters because they know what's coming down the pike. That said, if perchance they may not immediately want to have all 3 of their backup characters die at once, they can choose to use an NPC who they will meet and potentially befriend as one of these backup characters to take over. So you may see some of these NPCs being played by me in one session, and the next thing you know, Sarah's playing one. Who knows? It's her choice. It's all your choices. But that's not here nor there. Let's go to Marcus.
Can we make a cat? That is the question.
Geez, that's right.
I'm kidding. I don't want to make a cat.
I was going to ask Mike because, like, he at the end of our last Alien RPG game, because I think he was one of the only remaining survivors. The cat, Mike played Adrian the cat. I think we're going to have to go to him because I think he is in perpetuity going to be in all of the Alien RPG games the cat. Yeah, he'll just appear at random places as the cameo. Yeah.
What about a parrot? That way it can talk.
A parrot?
That way it can talk back.
Yeah, I don't know. I ever heard of a parrot xenomorph? That'd be kind of fun, right? All of a sudden, you see like, Polly, want a cracker? Polly, want a and just all of a sudden, like, Chestburster comes right out of the parrot. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's the best.
Oh, that's a great thought. A xenomorph that can fly.
Been there, done that. Read the comics. It's actual. It's satisfactual. It's there. Yes, that's right, Maeve. Only your character and Mike survived. Everyone else died. All right, so let's switch.
R.I.P. Drabikovsky.
R.I.P. Drabikovsky.
R.I.P. everybody.
Yeah, it's true.
Let me do this. Let me create. Yeah, there we go. There's the core rule book. Marcus, let's do this.
Yeah.
We're gonna just let me just go through of how you make your character. within
All right.
a campaign. Okay. So there are basic steps on how to make a character. What we are doing, by the way, is campaign play as opposed to cinematic play. Cinematic play is somewhat different, and they are sort of seen as one-shots, although most of the time with us it's like 3 shots. Campaign play just goes on and on and on. So within a character, there is a 10-step process, as I'm showing on the screen for our folks right now. The first step is choose your career. Now, a career is basically a character class. It's your job. It's what it is you are doing and what your character is doing for their job within the universe of Alien RPG. The second step is to spend points on your core 4 attributes. Your core 4 attributes are strength, agility, wits, and empathy. These are going to be added to the other skills that you will use in terms of a dice pool. We talked about that a little bit before stream. In order for you to roll successes or failures. Successes are the number 6 on a d6, and failures are basically everything else. Right? 1 through 5 are failures. So you have to roll a 6 on a 6-sided die to have a success. So the more dice in your pool, the chances of you rolling 6 on those dice are going to be greater. So those are going to be your points on your attributes. Basically, how many dice within each pool of those attributes you will have. Okay? The third step is going to be spending points on your skills. Within each attribute, strength, agility, wits, and empathy, there are 3 skills that are sort of tied to it. So you can spend points on those skills to determine whether or not you want your character to have more skills in, say, close combat, or manipulation, or observation. These things are pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any questions regarding to like what the hell a certain skill does versus another one, we can go through that. The fourth is going to be choosing what your career talent is. It's basically your special skill. You can do it usually once per game or multiple times per game, depending on what the talent is and how completely overpowered it is. Banter. But if you wanted to use it, you have to choose it. And if you have to choose it, you have to determine what career. So that your career comes with certain talents that they recommend. You choose that talent at that point in the game. The fifth is basically choose your name. Hey, what's your name? Cool, moving on. Number 6, decide on what your appearance is. Hey, what does your character look like? Okay, cool, moving on. Number 7, decide on your personal agenda. Now, in order for you to advance in this game, like many other role-playing games, you have experience points. Those experience points are gained by doing certain things in this game. And at the end of every session, we will have a quick offloading with all 5 of you and me to determine if you have indeed earned the experience points for whatever criteria you need. Okay? One of those things is how well you attempted to achieve your personal agenda. So your personal agenda can be tied to your character, or it can also be tied to the campaign world in which we are. And we'll get to that when we talk about all the other different characters. Okay? The 8th step of player character generation is choosing your buddy and your rival. In Alien RPG, I think there are very, very common examples of who certain characters' buddies are and who their rivals are, and how they interact with those individual choices of buddy and rival makes the game a lot more interesting, shall we say. How well you, say, vilify your rival and commiserate with your buddy, those can give you experience points too. Last but not least, or actually second to last but not least, is picking your gear. Of course, we'll give you that extra piece of gear that you'll roll for, as gifted by Maeve, and a signature item. Some would say this is a very small sort of trinket, but could be very closely tied to your character. The mechanical effect of your signature item is that, as we discussed earlier, stress occurs in a game when certain horrible things occur in the game and they weigh you down, but they also give you those additional stress die to allow you for potential further successes within the game. But as we also know, stress can cause panic, and that can cause some really, really bad things to occur in this particular game. Very lethal things, shall we say. The signature item that you have, you can use, I think it is within cinematics, it's once per session, to reduce your own stress by 1, which is very useful. And last but not least, you roll for how much cash you have. Money and how much money you you attain in this particular game is actually part of your experience point gaining process as well. Does that all make sense, Marcus?
Yes.
Superb.
I'm ready.
You're ready? All right. Then let's give you guys a little music. I find silence unnerving, so I feel like we should give you guys a little bit of ambiance.
But Matt, in space, no one can hear you scream.
But I'm not screaming it. Gotcha.
You will be.
Okay, fine. Let's go with something not too obnoxious. Let's just go with like what our friends are calling the Nostromo sound or soundtrack, I should say. So let's just go back over here. Yeah, there it is. And there we go. Let me know if you guys can hear the music coming through these wonderful speakers of yours. I'm sure that you can hear it. Yes, no, maybe so.
Yes. Let's give you a thumbs up.
Thank you. Okay. Let's now then shift away from the PDF, which I'm sure you guys don't really want to see, and let's go into our Roll20 screen. And Marcus, you have character control, right? You're able to open up your character sheet. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the game itself has, through its many iterations, but certainly from the core book, your career. So your career can be, I'm just going to sort of name them off, and you tell me if any of them stick to you like glue.
All right.
Colonial Marine, Colonial Marshal, Company Agent, Kid, Medic, Officer, Pilot, Roughneck, or Scientist. Those are the ones in the core book. Additionally, in the Building Better Worlds book, there are two careers, one which is Wildcatter and Entertainer. So tell me if any of those hit you in a special happy place.
Scientist.
Oh, scientist.
Sings out to me.
Scientist. All right. Then let's go to the scientist, and I'll tell you what it is that you get.
All right.
So, as a scientist, every new day, new pieces to the puzzle of existence are found on the frontier. Figuring out what makes them fit together could leap humanity over nature's next hurdle, and you are one thesis away from the respect you deserve. Some find you cold and detached. They don't understand that your passion is knowledge. Whether your field is xenobiology, astrophysics, robotics, or even archaeology, there are countless treasures in space just waiting for someone to trip over the next asteroid and run right into them. Whether or not that's you, you're still the one who understands them better than anyone. So on your character sheet, where it says career, write the word scientist, please.
Done.
Excellent. We're moving on. Your key attribute of the 4 is wits. Surprise, surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, let me just check on the number. I think it is the number 14. Yes, it's 14. Thank you, Sarah. So you have 14 points to use in all 4 of your abilities. And I think the highest you can go is 4.
You can go to 5 in your key attribute and 4 in everything else.
Thank you, Sarah. Sarah is such a rules stickler. She will always, always correct me, and rightly so. So if your key attribute is wits, you can, if you would like, put 5 into it, or less. Your choice. What do you think you want to put into wits, and what do you want to put into the other 3?
I'm going to say 5 into wits.
Excellent. Okay, so now you have 9 points to put into the other 3 attributes. What do you want to put?
Yeah, I'm going to do, hang on, I'm at 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm going to do 4 in agility.
Okay.
I'm going to do, that's backwards. I'm going to do 2 in strength and 3 in empathy.
Okay. Excellent. Now, if you take a look on the character sheet, you will see that for each attribute, which are in the very center section of the character sheet, you'll have branching out skills, 3 in each category. So, for example, for strength, the skills that are associated with strength are close combat, heavy machinery, and stamina. Pretty simple, pretty understanding of what those are, I'm pretty sure. But if you need explanations, I can give you those. For agility, the skills are ranged combat, mobility, and piloting. Mobility is basically, for a lot of us, we sort of scratched our head as to like exactly what mobility means. Mobility is any opportunity that your character has to go swiftly or stealthily. That is going to be using your mobility skill. Piloting is very clearly piloting. Ranged combat, shooting a ranged weapon. Okay. The third attribute is empathy, and the 3 skills around that are command, medical aid, and manipulation. The difference between command and manipulation is pretty simple. Manipulation is a little bit more like, if you want to talk about it from a D&D perspective, it's a little bit more like persuasion. And command is a little bit more like intimidation, I would say. The great thing about command is that if somebody is panicking, you can, depending on how good you are at command, basically, snap out of it, command them to go out of a panicked condition. But manipulation is a little bit more about, being subtle with the way you want to deal with someone. And then last but not least, your key attribute, your wits attribute, is tied to 3 skills: observation, survival, and comtech. Observation is very much like perception and investigation rolled into one. How well can you see things? How well can you determine where things are coming from before they get you? Survival, how well can you survive in the vast, horrible bleakness of space and within certain conditions that are going to cause you to deteriorate rather quickly? And then finally, comtech, which is how well do you know computers and other technologies? Does that make sense?
Very much.
Amazing. So, your key skills, as per what it recommends, are going to be observation, survival, and comtech, as of course, wits usually sort of places you directly in that category. Okay? Now, the amount of points, and Sarah, I'm sure you're going to hit me up on this one, that you can place in all of the different skills.
It's 10.
Is 10. So you can place a number of points in any of those skills, depending, and not just obviously your key skills, but all of the different skills for all of the different attributes, right? So tell me how you would like to distribute those skills.
Well, I think I want a fair amount of observation. I think that's going to be helpful and true to character.
Okay.
I have 10 total, right?
10 total, that's right.
But I don't know how many of these. I mean, several of them are obviously going to have 0.
That's correct.
I just spread 1 around to all of them.
That's
good.
Yeah, Sarah's probably just going to give you some advice. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say that's an option, but also as the game progresses, your core attributes will always stay the same, but you can use XP to level up other skills as the game continues.
That's correct.
Gotcha.
They will. These are just like your base.
This is level 1.
Yep.
Essentially.
Yep.
So I kind of feel that I want to use like 3 of my 10 points into observation. It seems like a lot, I think, but I like it.
Okay.
And then I think I want 1 skill point in comtech and 1 skill point in survival. Because I feel like all of my core, what are they called? Key skills should have something. So that's 5. I think I want 2 skill points in command.
Okay.
2 skill points in mobility.
Okay.
And then I've got 1 left. What's the maximum number of skill points I can have on a skill?
I think I've seen it. I've seen it go up to 4, but that is certainly an option that not a lot of people have chosen. I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm going to do 1 skill point in medical aid.
Okay. Very good. Does that take care of all 10?
8, 9, 10. Yes, that takes care of all 10.
Superb. Okay. Next step, we talk about talents. So talents, as what it basically does is it gives you, there's a whole bunch of talents in the actual core book, talents in the Colonial Marine Operations Manual, which is where we pulled our Marine campaign from. And then there's, of course, even more talents in the Building Better Worlds book that just came out. So I'm going to give you the talents for the that it recommends for scientist, which are, there's 3 of them. One is analysis. The second one is breakthrough. And the third one is inquisitive. I'm going to tell you what those are. Okay. Here we go. Scientist, medic, pilot, scientist. Yes, there's 3 of them. The first one is called analysis, which is that it says you can roll for observation to gain insight regarding strange and alien artifacts or creatures that you encounter and get a chance to study for at least 1 turn. Quick caveat to let you know that the way that time is broken up in this game is broken up into not seconds and minutes and hours per se, but in concepts called rounds, turns, and shifts. Rounds is just like a combat round, right? A turn is about 10 minutes, and a shift is about 5 to 6 hours. Okay? Now, in those 10 minutes that you study this creature or strange alien artifact, when you roll observation, for every success that you roll, you get to ask the GM one of these 6 questions. 1, is it human or alien? 2, is it dead or alive? 3, how old is it? 4, what is its purpose? 5, how does it work? And 6, what problems could it cause? I have to answer truthfully, but I'm allowed to give vague or incomplete answers in order to avoid spoiling the scenario.
Of course you are.
Another thing that you will know is that a successful analyze roll also reduces the stress level of all the other PCs within short range by 1, because they feel now more confident that you know what the fuck you're doing. That said, if you fail it, that increases everybody else's stress roll by 1. So don't fuck it up. That's the first possible talent. The second possible talent is called breakthrough, which says, you've done it. Once per game session, you automatically pass an observation roll of your choice without needing to make the roll. In order to avoid spoiling the scenario, the GM has final say on whether or not this talent can be used for a particular role. So, GM fiat. That's the second possibility. The third possibility is called inquisitive, which says, you are always seeking to expand the boundaries of your knowledge. You can push, we'll get into pushing in a second, any skill roll based on wits twice, not just once like other characters. Each push increases your stress level by 1. When you fail a skill roll of any kind, meaning you get no successes on the die, that is a failed roll. But if you are a human and not an android, you can use the additional ingenuity and or vigor from a stressful situation to push that roll, to roll it again, and hopefully get better results. However, when you push a roll, you get an additional stress level. You now have an additional stress die in your pool. So that's one mechanic that increases your stress. Most people can only push dice or skill rolls once. But with this talent, you'll be able to push it twice. So those are the 3 talents that you can acquire at this level with this particular career. Which one do you want to choose?
Analysis.
Done. So let me go ahead into your character sheet. I'm going to drag and drop it directly from the compendium into your character, which is great. That's a little plug to our friends at Roll20.
And I just typed all of that with one hand. Oh, well.
You typed it all? Oh, you can just drag and drop it.
Well, no, sorry. I copy-pasted and then had to clean up the line breaks, so it could have been worse.
Okay. Drag and drop. Boo-doo-doo-doo. And then click. And there it is. So in the top right-hand corner, you'll see analysis and all the other jazz for it, right? And then just to display it in chat, all you have to do is just click on the analysis button, and I think that should push it into chat. And if it doesn't work, that's okay.
No.
Okay, well, we'll figure out how that button works later on.
No.
Don't worry, it's fine. Okay. So that's your talent. At a certain experience level, you may get more than one talent, depending on how much experience that you earn. Okay, so you're a scientist. You've got your talents. You've got your skills. You've got your attributes. Here we go. What's next? Your name. Did you choose your name yet?
I did.
What is it?
Chesterton Clark. Mostly because I want to hear all of you have to say Chesterton over and over again until I die.
Cool. Chesterton.
You're welcome.
Clark. Okay. By the way, hey Raiders from Ages of Ainur. Ainur? Shit. Fuck. I can't remember how it's pronounced. Ainur. Is that a Tolkien thing? I think it is, right? Help me out, folks. Ainur. Thank you, Ages of Ainur.
Sounds right.
It does sound right? It's a Tolkien thing. Welcome to Character Creation Session 0.
Finkel is Ainur. Ainur is Finkel.
Ace Ventura. How formulative you were to our life. Okay. Couple questions. So is this going to be in the Aliens universe or a homebrew setting using those rules? The former, sir. We are working out of canon rules. Sir or madam, or anywhere in between. Apologies, I was not trying to indicate specific pronoun preference. But yes, as far as we know, it is in the universe. We're gonna get into this campaign very soon. We just have to get through Marcus's character. I think we're almost done. Okay. Your appearance. Let's talk about what you look like. What is Chesterton? Should we call him Chesterton or should we call him Clark or Chesterton Clark? Because here's the deal. I mean, let's be honest. In Alien or in Aliens, everyone calls each other by their last name. Ripley, Newt, Hudson, Hicks, etc. Right? So it's up to you.
I think that each person can choose what they would like to call me, and I will decide whether or not I like that.
Amazing. Cool.
So yeah, I think Chesterton is tall, very, very slender. Definitely does not have a beard. Very clean shaven, and very long hair down to about the shoulders, and wears glasses because scientist.
Nerd.
Because nerd.
Nerd alert.
Nerd.
Nerd. We like nerds. Okay. Is it CLARK or KE?
CLARK.
Solid. Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you for the description. Now we need to go with what your personal agenda is. Now, they discuss whether or not you would like to use the scientist's personal agenda, which for the most part is something akin to these possible choices. Number 1, your last project was stolen from you. Now you need to keep many of your findings secret. Number 2, you hate authority and go out of your way to be uncooperative if possible. Number 3, you find it hard to delegate to others, even if it means taking on extra work.
So those are the three.
Those are the three.
Kind of.
It says choose from these options, or just decide for yourself as to what your personal agenda is. But I think
I like number 1.
Your last project was stolen from you. Now you keep many of your findings secret. I love that too.
Yes.
I think that's going to dictate a lot of your own character choices through the game.
Agreed.
So go ahead and type that into where at the top left it says personal agenda.
I don't remember the entire thing that you said.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll just copy and paste it.
Okay.
Here we go. It's going to be here. And Shazam. Your last project was stolen from you. Now you keep many of your findings secret.
Done.
Cool. Okay. And then finally... here it is. Yes. Okay. So your buddy and your rival. I think we should hold off. I think we should hold off on buddy and rival until we meet each other. How does that fadge for all of you guys? Can't choose buddies and rivals.
Well, question: are we going to do an RP meeting, or are we all going to like talk to each other about who our characters are and decide from there?
I think that if you let's say this, Sarah, if you guys have already made characters and determined the relationships potentially between your characters, either individually or multiply, if that's a word, then you can choose your buddies and rivals now. But I think we can now have a group discussion as to who's the buddy and who's the rival if you want to talk about your characters as a group. Okay? But yeah, go ahead, Sarah.
Well, I was going to say I have a question simply because I am playing a kid.
Yeah.
I need to know, and I posted something about this in Discord, needing to know if we're starting on a ship or are we starting on a planet? Are there a bunch of NPCs, or do I need to make one of, if it's only the 5 of us, then I have to be related to one of these people or I wouldn't be there.
Yeah. Who is your daddy and what does he do? Yeah.
Oh no, my parents be dead. It's going to be like an aunt. It's going to be like an aunt or an uncle or something like that.
Okay.
I did like, that was a thing that I wondered. This was just me asking how you planned on us introducing our characters to each other.
Great question.
So that choice could be made.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted.
The 5 of you will all be starting on a spaceship heading towards another much larger spaceship as the crew of that spaceship, or at least as part of the crew of that spaceship.
Cool. Okay.
Hope that informs your decision.
That does inform my decision.
Superb. Okay, Marcus, let's go ahead and finish you up here. Pick your gear and your signature item. So the gear that a scientist gets is 2 of the starting items below. You get 4 of them, and I'll just drag and drop, but you tell me which ones you want.
Great.
Okay. 1 is a digital video camera or hand radio. 2 is a PDAT, which is basically a data device. It's basically just like an iPad, right? Or a neurovisor, which basically is sort of like, think of Geordi LaForge to some degree from Star Trek. The third one is a system diagnostic device. Think of it as like a laptop that determines how to diagnose certain technological issues, or a personal data transmitter, which is basically I guess it's kind of like a phone in a way. It transmits data from one device to another device. And then the fourth is a motion tracker or a personal med kit.
And I just threw up in chat that each career also has optional frontier gear from Building Better Worlds.
That's true.
So for scientists, that's expedition fatigues or a heavy safari pack.
That is very true. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So you get to
This
choose
visor
two of them.
thing.
You want to talk about the
What is it
visor?
called?
The neurovisor?
Yes.
Yeah, let me go into that and I'll tell you what that does here. Vision devices. A neurovisor is a helmet with an HUD visor that allows an operator to monitor and interface with the subconscious and dreams of a subject in stasis. Ooh, I didn't know this. A skilled user. Oh Jesus, this is from a Marines campaign, isn't it, folks? Holy fuck. Yes, a skilled user, which requires a Comtech roll, can also use a neurovisor to communicate with the hypersleeping subject, and an advanced user can use one to manipulate one's dreams. So the next time you go to hypersleep, keep those dreams clean because your supervisor could be watching. That's what a neurovisor does.
That's the one.
That's pretty fucked up, and I love the fact that you chose that. Okay, let me go into your character and add that. Neurovisor. Okay, I've added it to your gear. Oh, you've already... Wait, did I add it twice? That's weird.
Yeah, I think I've just added twice.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so I've added it to your gear, and then you get one other choice. I'll refresh if you would like me to go through the gear again.
I think I'm going to go with the system diagnostic
Okay.
tool.
Yes. I know exactly which one you're talking about. That is under diagnostics and display. Yeah, that is the Seegson System Diagnostic Device. It is used to troubleshoot computer and mechanical systems aboard a space station or starship. A good engineer knows how to use one of these to hack doors and computer terminals, but you didn't read that here. They're very cheeky in their core rulebook. I like them. All right, let's add that. And now it is in your character sheet as well.
Beautiful.
Cool. So there's your gear. You also get money. Because everybody has money, of course, in the far future. Just don't have a whole lot of it. That's why everybody does jobs still. Right. This is not like Star Trek where, like, what's money? No, money is very much needed. In fact, for those of you who are wondering what the currency of the alien universe is, it's actually the Weyland-Yutani dollar, which is also known as the Y. I'm not shitting you. It's the W-Y. Everyone just calls it the Y. So how many Y?
The way you do.
No, it's not the way. It's literally just called the Y.
The amount of wordplay you've just handed me.
Oh my god.
Amazing. Yeah, until Walmart bought out Weyland-Yutani. This is pre-Walmart, right? This is the pre-Walmart takeover of
Walmart's from the future.
Yes, this is the
Travel back in time to take over the United
Dang it, Walmart didn't die yet?
No. But then Walmart was bought by and Large, and that's where you get Wally. So, yeah.
There you go.
We love B&L.
By and Large Superstore. All you need. Okay, so the money that you get, yeah, I've watched that a lot. Can't you tell? The money that you get as a scientist is
100.
It says you get D6 times 100. So go ahead and roll me a D6, Marcus, and let's see how many times 100 you get. You get $100, Chesterton Clark. Congratulations.
Beautiful.
I get $3.
You're a kid.
I know.
I have $3.
$3.
Wait, where's my money?
Don't worry, we'll make sure to feed you.
I always just track
You
it
can do
in
the
tiny
dishes.
item space.
Yeah.
There's no actual spot for it.
Yeah.
So I just put it in tiny items.
So one last thing that we forgot to do is choose what your signature item is, Marcus. What's your signature item? Think about it.
Is this something that I just have to create?
It can give you, well, it gives you options. It can give you some suggestions. It says choose one of the following or come up with yourself. The either Albert Einstein Award, I think it's hilarious. You somehow or other figure, I guess they just gave you the Einstein Award for your last project, which was stolen from you, and then just gave you the award for it. A second option is an unfinished scientific paper, one that you never got to complete or hand in or publish. And then the third one are blackmail letters. Which I don't know if it actually specifies that you have written or that you have received.
It does not specify.
It does not specify that, so I'm down for either. But of course, you can make up your own signature item if you would like.
What is the purpose of this signature item? Because I don't think I understand.
Yeah, so the signature item is an item that you hold very close to your own person, right? It is something that is extremely important to you. If you lost it, horrible things would happen to your psyche, essentially. It's like the photo of Sarah Connor that, to go tangential, that Kyle Reese has in the Terminator series. It's something that they take out every once in a while in times of stress to focus on and think about how their relationship to that signature item, what it means to them, and therefore reduce their stress by 1.
I actually do like the suggestion from chat of watch calculator.
Watch calculator?
I'm going to add to it that it is broken. It is a broken
Nice.
watch calculator.
That's great.
Is it the one from when he was like 9 and it just barely fits and only fits because he's still just as skinny as he was when he was 9?
Yeah, I got to figure out what the backstory is behind it, but I like something along those lines.
Think it through. Miss Deadite approves. Thank you, Miss Deadite, for the suggestion. Amazing. Okay. Cool. So that, I think, if I'm not missing anything.
Wait, don't I get a random item?
Oh, that's right. Your gear.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
course. Roll
Yes.
roll a D10. Oh, no, wait. No. I'm sorry. I changed it. It's a D8. It's a D8, folks. I changed it. Roll a
I
D8.
don't have a D8 in my roll menu. Should I just roll in the chat?
You can roll it physically or in chat.
Yeah.
I don't care.
He took the sharp sticks off the list.
I did. You don't deserve the sharp sticks.
No knives, no sharp sticks.
And we'll find them anyway.
Look at that wall of sharp sticks.
4.
4. Okay.
Sounds like golf clubs.
Roll a D10. This actually makes
subtables.
this. Yeah, subtables. Tables within tables.
8.
Okay. Recreational drugs. This makes all the sense in the world.
Gonna be
Oh my God.
Is this an actual piece of gear that
Oh,
can
yeah.
be imported?
Yes, it is, in fact.
Shove that bad boy right in your
Like this.
pocket.
So, the recreational drugs have certainly positive effects, not only in Alien, but in our own real-life world. The effect from a mechanical perspective of recreational drugs are, depending on the recreational drug, can reduce stress, can increase mood, can do a variety of different things. Yeah, he got that THC vape, 100% Miss Deadite. Yep. Let me give you that into your character sheet. The thing about recreational drugs is, depending on if you want to make your character really dependent upon them because of, I don't know, let's say they're a morphine addict, as sometimes some scientists and medics can be, that they are dependent upon those kinds of recreational drugs. They can become addicted to them. So you would have to roll a stamina check every certain period of time that you didn't have those recreational drugs to try to not go, if you wanted to go cold turkey, shall we say, that's fine, but it would be a trying effort to do so.
Like this.
Okay, let me go and add that to your character sheet. Drugs. Okay. Yeah, recreational drugs. There we go. Boop. Okay.
There it is.
This is I love the flavor text. It says get wrecked.
Nice.
Get wrecked. Cannabis, tobacco, and certain doses of steroids, I can't pronounce this. Benzodiazepines?
Diazepines. I believe.
Diazepines. Okay, thank you, Sarah. And
Welcome.
and methylene dioxymethamphetamine. Jesus, that one took a
Nice
while.
work.
I tried.
Just say meth.
That's a long fucking word. Methylene dioxymethamphetamine are all legal drugs prescribed for recreational use by corporate physicians. Price varies from $5 for a pack of cigarettes to $60,000 for a kilo of benzoylecgonine. Benzoylecgonine? I don't know the fuck that
Sure.
is. That I don't know the shit. Anybody out there in the world?
Maybe he's hooked on hillbilly heroin.
It's possible. It's possible. This is a flavor item, right? This is not necessarily going to be something that we're going to go hard and fast on, Marcus. This is literally just all about how you want your relationship with this particular kind of piece of gear to be. And
Gotcha.
don't forget, Maeve gave it to you. Okay? So
Thanks, Maeve.
It's her fault.
Or, goddamn it, Maeve. I haven't decided yet.
okay, I think we spent enough time creating Marcus's character. Yeah?
Yes.
Cool. Marcus, welcome to the fold.
Thank you. I feel great.
Alrighty. So, let's now go to... Where is it? Take this off and go to this so that we can see what everybody else's character did. Who should we start with first? Who has a character ready and raring to go to be discussed?
Mine's good to go whenever you want it.
All right, Julie, let's start with you. Let me just do a quick fix on my screen here. Fix that. There we go. And transition that. Okay. So, first and foremost, I'm actually going to just change the character name from Marcus's character to Chesterton Clark.
Did that already.
On the token, I mean. Chesterton Clark. And now let's go to Julie's character. Julie, who is your character?
Her name is Bella Rose Murphy. She is an entertainer, so a character class from the Building Better Worlds book.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like appearance next, or where would you like me to go?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to go through all of the different like we know that she's an entertainer. We don't have to go through like all of the different skills and attributes. That's going to be, I'm sure, pretty obvious once you start rolling. But like, what's her talent? I think that's probably important.
Okay. So her talent is perform, and with this, you can use command to create a beguiling, artistic performance, so much so that those who are watching are captivated. You can hold a target's attention for 1 round for each success you roll. For each success you roll, they suffer a -3 modification to any observation test during this time.
Ooh, I like it. So it's like distract.
Yes.
Interesting.
So she can do something over here so that you guys can do something else over there.
Very cool. Very, very cool. I love it. Okay, so that's your talent. Let's talk about... we don't know who your buddy and rival is yet. Let's talk about what's your signature item? Actually, I think let's do that. Like, what is your signature item?
So my signature item is a locket she wears on a long silver chain. No matter what else she's wearing, she always has that on, even if it's another piece of jewelry. And it sits down far enough that she can just like tuck it into her shirt.
Love it.
So at all times, she always has that on.
And I almost forgot to ask.
Picture inside.
Yeah, what's her like? What does she look like? What's her appearance?
Okay, appearance. She's mid-20s, 5'9", 140 pounds, long wavy red hair, green eyes, sweet smile. She does the smolder with her eyes quite often. And she always looks good. You don't know what time she gets up in the morning, but no matter what, she is always ready to go.
Is she Jessica Rabbit?
That's what I was getting.
No,
Or
Okay.
Kate Capshaw
Nope.
from Temple of
that's a
Doom.
different game. That's a different game. Nope, not that one.
Okay,
But
just making sure.
That's I was kind of feeling the whole vibe of like singing in like a speakeasy kind of deal. Like that was kind of
Cool.
the vibe I was going for with her. So her perform is like singing and dancing and stuff like that.
Cool. Nice.
But primarily the singing, but more like some of these pop groups now where they're singing, but they dance at the same time.
Nice.
So
Okay, very cool.
more along those lines.
Does she have any pieces of gear specifically that she's brought with her on this trip?
She has a few pieces of gear. She has a personal med kit and what is that? A Seegson PDAT. I honestly don't know what that is.
A
but
PDAT is
that's what
basically,
she got.
it's just
Right.
it's a data device that you can view.
I was thinking along the lines of a BlackBerry, but oh my
yeah,
gosh.
it's a
that's
combination of
dating me.
BlackBerry, iPad, combination data device
deal.
and
Yeah.
communication device. Yeah.
And I did already roll for her money, but I
Okay.
did not spend any of that money.
Okay.
So I wouldn't mind if she had some sort of weaponry, but probably, if anything, is probably just like a knife or something that she can keep for close personal use.
Yep.
Should be needed.
We can
But
talk
that's
about
really about all she would carry as far as that goes.
We can talk about weaponry that the company that hired the five of you to go on this particular expedition, that you will be granted or have the opportunity to go to the quartermaster with your hard-earned pay to purchase, of course, because nothing is free from Weyland-Yutani. So what you'll do is, of course, as we progress through the campaign, you will, of course, get a weekly pay. That weekly pay will depend greatly on what it is your occupation is. So, for example, I'm going to just show this to you as a handout in chat. Hopefully, you guys can see it. It's a little bit of a small table, but I'll basically see that this table has the different occupations and salary ranges for those occupations. So, for example, for people who are colonial labor, they unfortunately get the shit end of the stick. Their weekly salary is anywhere between 500 and 640 Y per week. Commercial employees, we're talking space truckers, officers, technicians, cargo handlers, pilots, navigators, medical and science officers, of which Chesterton Clark is one. Their weekly salary is anywhere between $400 and $960 a week. Corporate and government officials seem to be a little bit better off. We're talking executives, secretaries, salespeople, auditors, hitmen, and agents. They get anywhere between 540 and 1,200 Y per week. Then we go into law enforcement, colonial marshals, federal investigators, colonial guard, and security. They make between $400 and $700 per week on average. Then all Army, Marines, and Navy roles, we're talking military, they make between 500 and 760 Y per week. And then at the very top end, we're talking the elite occupations, the people who make the 1%ers, that's right. Yep, the chair people, the CEOs, the doctors, the elite assassins, and the high-ranking military earn anywhere between 1,300 and 20,000 Y per week. I would say, considering...
Quite a range.
Yeah, for real. Considering where you guys are within the overall structure of this world and who you work for, when we figure that out, we may determine that your salaries are vastly different, which could lead to some serious problems within the group. And I can't wait to see what that kind of shit looks like.
We don't talk about our pay with other employees. That's against the rules.
Okay. Noted. Thank you, Julie. Okay, so I think we're good with your character.
Okay.
Ben, let's talk about your character. What's your character's name? Let's go with that.
Well, unlike my wife, I followed the Matt rule that's on my T-shirt, and I did it the way Matt told me to the first time, and I didn't do anything.
Good job, Ben.
You're welcome.
Good job. So no character creation for you.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we can make your character real quick.
Sounds good.
What do you want to do?
I was thinking Colonial Marine.
Imagine that. A Marine playing a Marine.
Ah.
How
I'm
novel.
shocking, I'm shocked.
How fucking novel is that?
Right?
Okay, let's make a Colonial
Get ready,
Marine.
Matt. I hope you know what you're in for with this one.
Listen, I never know what I'm in for with Ben. He played a guy who killed like 3 people in my last game. But then again, he got killed so badly in the Blade Runner game, so I kind of let him have it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. All right, so let's do this quickly, Ben, right?
All right.
You want to make a Marine? Great, no problem. So your key attribute is Strength. So how much you want to put in Strength? You know how to do this on the character sheet, right, Ben?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So how much you want to put in Strength?
4.
Four Strength. Cool. And then then you got Wits, and you got Empathy, and then you got Agility. What do you want to put in those?
Agility, I was also going to go 4.
Okay, 4.
And
Great.
that,
And then you got
yeah.
yeah. So then you got you got 6 points left.
And 3 in the other 2.
Perfect. 4, 4, 3, 3. Easy. Love it. Your key skills are, surprisingly, your key attribute is Strength, and your key skills are Close Combat, Stamina, and Ranged Combat, which is not a key Strength skill. So you have 10 points to put in that. What do you want to put in all your skills?
Ranged, I was going to do 3.
Cool.
Close Combat, I was also going to toss 3 in that.
Okay. Now you done.
Let's see.
You got 4 points left.
Yeah. Most of those things I don't think really apply to him.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna toss 2 in mobility,
Okay.
and then 2 in observation.
Cool. Works for me. That works out to 10.
Sweet.
So the next thing is going to be your appearance. Let's just talk about what he looks like.
Well, he's a tan skin, short brown hairs, never quite got rid of the military haircut. Blue
Cool.
eyes, 6 foot, athletically muscled. He still wears his Colonial Marine hat. Brown cargo pants. He needed brown pants. You should always wear your brown pants.
Yes.
I hope he doesn't have a red shirt.
No,
Ooh.
he's got a black t-shirt. I made sure not to have a red shirt.
Good.
It's
Good
inviting
choice.
disaster in an already disastrous game.
Yep.
And then he always has a cigar hanging out of his mouth.
Imagine that. Okay. Let's talk about what your career talents are going to be, because then I can just drag and drop it in. So you have 3 possible career talents for a Colonial Marine. One is Banter. The second is Overkill. I think maybe when he hears that, his ears start burning. And then the third one is called Past the Limit. Tell me if you want me to read you any of those, or if you've already chosen.
And then it's Bodyguard and Hard Hitter from Building Better Worlds.
From
What is hard hitter?
do you want to do that one, Sarah? Since I've got the core one open.
Oh, sure. Let me jump down to... Well, they're in core. This just says they can have them.
Oh, neat. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so when you go to the careers in Building Better Worlds, they just give a little brief description. And then at the bottom, they give 2 additional talents you have access to and 2 additional pieces of gear you have access to. So Bodyguard, we all know. I don't remember what Hard Hitter is off the top of my head.
I've got it here, actually. I've just found it. Hard Hitter is you get a +2 to close combat if you sacrifice your fast action.
There we go.
So another sort of caveat in the rules here, right? So when it's your turn, in a combat situation, you can move one zone. When you get to a combat situation, you'll see a map, and the map is broken up into zones. It's not like you move a certain amount of feet, although zones are usually about 25 feet. But it's very sort of it's not very specific. It's sort of nebulous as to the exact determination of the span of a zone. But you have the ability to move within a zone or move from the edge of one zone to another zone on your turn. That's your movement. And then everything else is broken up into, on your turn, a fast action and a slow action. depending on what you want to do, certain things can be a fast action or a slow action. There are actually a list of all the different fast actions you can do, including combat. Certain things, like for example, using a weapon, for the most part, is a slow action, which is basically kind of like an action if you think about it from D&D perspective. And a fast action, which are very quick, very immediate things that don't take a whole lot of concentration. Think of them like bonus actions, for example. Okay. So for hard hitter, if you sacrifice your fast action, you get a +2 to your close combat roll, which means you roll 2 additional dice.
All right, let's take that.
Done. Let me move that into your talents. Have you thought about what this character's name, by the way, Ben?
Yeah, Hank Savage.
Awesome.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Hank Savage. So do you want people to call you Hank or Savage or just...
Savage.
Probably go by Savage.
Cool.
You know,
Cool.
you get used
It
to
makes
hearing your
sense.
last name all the time in the military.
Yeah. Savage! Get over here, Savage! Okay. Where's your character sheet? There it is. Okay, and you chose, what did you choose? Which one? Sorry.
Hard hitter.
Hard hitter, that's right. Okay, I've dragged that into your character sheet. It's now a talent. Beautiful. Let's talk about your, did we choose what your signature items or any of that stuff? We didn't choose that yet, right?
No, we haven't done that yet.
Okay, so what is your signature item?
Let's go with a cigar case.
Ooh, I like it. Okay, so you can just put that under signature item. Just you can type that in for you. And then your gear for Colonial Marine is, here it is. You can choose 2 of the following. I think Sarah also has the Building Better Worlds ones as well, so you can choose from that as well. So you get 2 of the following items below. You can also get D6 times 100 in cash. Now, Marines are the only character class that get, I think, the kind of weaponry that they would probably get if they were Marines and still were. So you get to choose either a pulse rifle or a smart gun.
I'm going to go with the pulse rifle.
Well, I haven't given you all the different options, but you can certainly keep that if you like. Motion tracker or grenades. Get 2 of these, by the way. Only 2 of the ones that I'm telling you. A pressure suit, meaning a sort of space suit, or personnel armor, like the ones that you see in Aliens, like they all wear the sort of segmented armor. Signal flare or a deck of cards. So you can choose 2 of those 8 possibilities, plus the ones that Sarah that will tell you as
and
well.
Building Better Worlds is a stun baton or handcuffs.
There you
Gotcha. Let's go with pulse rifle and the M3 body armor.
Done. Pulse rifle
Okay.
and body armor. Well, there you go, folks. Now you don't have to worry
We
about...
found the tank.
We don't have to worry about anyone dying ever because we've got a Marine. Okay.
But only for now.
So rude and yet so right. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Also an Avenue Q reference.
Yes. 100% correct. M3 personnel armor. Okay, Mr. Savage. Let me put that into your... this is probably the first time we talked about armor as well. So when you get hit in combat, let's say, for example, someone strikes you either with a ranged or melee attack, meaning that they've rolled success on said attack. The opponent has the option, depending on the kind of attack, to either block the attack, say with a close combat roll, or if they're in cover, potentially have the cover block that shot. And then, if they're wearing armor, they can mitigate the damage by rolling an armor roll. So in your case, you have an M3 personnel armor. M3 personnel armor has an armor roll of 6, which means you get to roll on every time that someone strikes you, Hank Savage, your armor roll. And if you get any success on the armor roll, each success that you roll mitigates 1 point of damage. And you also get the pulse rifle, which I'm going to give to you, Meow. The Armat M41A pulse rifle, a personal friend of mine. And now it is in your character sheet. Last couple things we want to talk about is your personal agenda. Now, you can choose for yourself if you would like for your personal agenda, Ben, or you can choose from one of 3 options. I'll tell them to you. Here we go. Number 1, you are a decorated hero. You need to defend your reputation at all costs. That's the first one. Second one, you once helped cover up a war crime. No one must ever know.
It's only a war crime the first time.
Only a war crime if they catch you for tribunal.
I was going to say, it's only a war crime if you get caught. Oh, Matt's gone. You killed him. He's dead.
Nope. Just trying to reel myself back. It's fine. And then
If I was Canadian, I could commit one at a time, and it's totally okay.
Didn't know it was going to turn into that kind of stream. Okay. And then the third one is the death of your buddy has spooked you. Now you secretly fear combat and confrontation. You need to overcome your fear. So that's your personal agenda options. Of course, you can choose your own, Ben, if you would like.
I think I'd like to choose my own.
Ooh.
And there is also a rollable table of frontier agendas in Building Better Worlds as well.
That's correct. And I think we may potentially use those for someone who doesn't want to use any of the personal agendas from this particular core book. So would you like to choose your own, or would you like to have a shot at the ones from the Building Better Worlds book?
Oh, let's roll.
Okay. So let's roll. Let me open up the Building Better Worlds book and go to the table.
It's right after Ready to Depart in the table of contents. It is page 55.
55.
And it's a D66 roll.
Oh, okay. So what we're going to find in this campaign, and of course in almost all Alien games, is that we roll, instead of D100s, we roll D66s because you only have 6-sided die. So you'll roll 2 D6s and then just tell me the digits, and that will add up to what your D66 roll are going to be. On your character sheet, there's a little button that says D66 at the very top. If you want to hit that button, we'll see what the hell it says. What'd you get here? 53. Okay. Sarah, do you want to tell Ben what he got for his personal agenda?
Sure. You never felt good enough, and failure has always been your companion, and it hurts. You'll show them. Before you're done, you'll have a planet named in your honor.
Ooh.
Nice.
Hot damn.
Okay. I will cut and paste that for you.
I like that.
Perfect.
Go.
Very nice. Very nice. Very happy with that.
Happy. Let me. Oh, come on. Just let me copy the text, please.
If you can't, I'll do it. It's
There
okay,
it is.
Sarah. You got it?
I think I got it.
Thank you,
I think
Sarah.
I got it. Let's see.
It's amazing to have these awesome collaborators. Okay, so that's Ben's character. I think we got everything in there. Ben, of course, you get D6 D6 times 100 money. Do you want to roll for that?
Sure.
That's that way you can put that into tiny items. So you get $300.
Gotcha.
Pop that into your tiny items. Yes, you are. Sure you are. That's all the money you own.
300 way UD.
Why? They're 300. Why? Damn it. Why? Okay. So we've got Julie. We've got Ben. We've got Marcus. Let's talk about our veteran players here. The ones who profess they know what they're doing.
Never. Ever. Why would you say that? Don't put words in our mouths.
I moved and it hurt.
Oh,
Okay, sorry
Sarah,
about
I'm sorry.
that. I don't know what I did. I don't even know what I did, but that did not feel nice. Okay.
Go ahead,
No stuff.
Sarah.
Hi. All right. I guess that's me volunteering to
Yes,
go first.
yes. Your body is
So-
saying yes.
My body is saying it's my turn. All right. So my career is that I'm a kid.
Yeah.
I am 14 years old. And I think what I determined, based on what you told me, is that as opposed to being related to one of these guys, so as not to inflict supreme emotional trauma when I eventually die, you said we're on our way to a bigger ship, so I am hitching a ride to meet my uncle on the ship that we're headed to. That's why I'm on the ship. So yep, I'm a kid. My talent is great. It's called Beneath Notice. And that is, no matter what horrible situations you end up in, you always seem to make it out unscathed, probably because no one ever pays much attention to you. When you roll for a critical injury on yourself, you get to re-roll the dice and choose the result you prefer.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that's why I took that one. That'll keep me alive a little bit longer.
Oh my God.
As a kid, my key attribute is agility, so I have a 5 in agility and a 4 in wits.
Okay.
3 in strength, 2 in empathy.
Okay.
I've got points in mobility, observation, survival, comtech, heavy machinery, and stamina.
Kiddo.
My signature item is a beat-up multi-tool with the initials CRG carved into the handle. My gear, I have a laser pointer and a fake Class 2 rating power loader license.
How can you fit into a power loader? You're like a 14-year-old kid. What do you have, like... I got a 3 in strength. You put, like, boxes under your feet so you can, like, walk on it and shit?
Maybe she's tall for her age.
It's possible. Maybe. It's true. My kid is 6'2" and he's 14, so what do I know?
Exactly. She's got kind of lank brown hair, probably not washed as often as it should be. Blue eyes, bunch of freckles across her nose, and she's usually wearing a pair of stained and patched coveralls that are definitely hand-me-downs.
Who would play her in the movie?
Bella Ramsey.
God damn it. That's exactly who I had in my mind, too.
Bella Ramsey, definitely.
Okay.
And her personal agenda is, the company took my parents from me. I refuse to let a corp ruin my life.
Okay. Cool. Wow. What's her name? Sorry?
Dorothy Gale. Her mother had a sense. Dorothy Gale goes by Dot. Her mother had a sense of whimsy.
Okay. Oh, I thought it was like Dorothy with a dot. Like, okay, so it's not like Dorothy Gale. It's Dorothy.
No, her name Dorothy Gale, but she goes by Dot.
Okay, so people call her Dot.
Dot.
Done. Safe.
Originally, she was going to be the daughter or granddaughter of my Marines campaign character, but the timelines don't line up, so she's her own entity and just has the same last name.
Roger that. Okay. Okie dokie. And then finally, Patrick. What shall we do with you, sir? Talk to me.
I don't know, because I had 2 ideas, and y'all have not made it any easier with these options. I really like playing new classes as well, and kicking the tires on everything. So obviously I've written a Wildcatter.
Yes!
I also, however, thought seriously about the difference of when Julie said that she was thinking about an entertainer. It fascinated me in skimming through Building Better Worlds that the idea of a company man who's more like a union fixer and like keeping everything running smoothly, but like internal affairs or like outside the third party, because we have all these political factions going on.
Mm-hmm.
If there was someone who could genuinely be on people's sides and not be like just straight Paul Reiser from Aliens. So I've written both.
Okay.
At least in the Vegas sketches. But we have a sort of scientist and we have a sort of face. So what I've written could be tweaked some more. I could do so much with both. And I don't know what I want to do.
In the words of a famous saying, what does your heart tell you?
We're gonna D100.
Okay, that's even better. Make the fucking dice choose. I like it. Let's go.
Yep. Dice decide. 0 to 50, it's a Wildcatter. 50 to 100, it's a company man.
51 to 100. You can't just go 50 and 50.
Wildcatter it is.
Okay. Wildcatter. I think that was the better choice. I'm not gonna lie. I like the company agent. It was a little too sort of like wishy-washy, but I like the Wildcatter. So talk to me about your Wildcatter, Patrick.
Well, see, part of the problem is...
Oh, fuck.
he ain't no good
Oh, my fucking fuck. Here we go.
Words don't come good.
Oh, God.
I will
Fantastic.
tell everyone watching on stream, 100%. When I started thinking about Wildcatters, all I could think of was Dale and Tucker versus Evil.
Nice.
Yes.
Dial that back. The problem is, both of the last names I've chosen for the hard sounds have already been claimed by other people, so I need to rewrite a little bit of this. But right now, we're going to call him Beaucephus. We're going to go with Beau.
Beaucephus?
Yeah, Beaucephus.
Would you like to spell that, please, sir? B-O...
B-E-A-U-C...
Oh, B-E-A-U. Sorry. B-A-U...
C-E-P-H-U-S.
C-E-P-H-U-S. Beaucephus.
And Beau's just really good at driving things. Tractors are his favorite.
Does Beaucephus have a last name?
I don't know yet. I got to rewrite that.
Oh.
It's going to be Crane.
I kind of like it.
Crane don't work.
Why not?
But we got Clark, we got Savage, we got these sounds that are going on there.
Nothing wrong with it's your character. You choose. I will say Beaucephus.
Yeah, I mean
Beau, whatever you're the less.
Diddley?
Yeah.
Beau.
Yeah.
No.
Out.
Maeve Climber says Tucker.
Great. Beau Tucker.
Beau Tucker. Beaucephus. Beau
it is.
Tucker.
And we are playing all new, all improved, 100% building better worlds here. So for that,
yes. Oh, we had someone. I think
do like
Marcus might have dropped out of Zoom, but then came back.
Oh,
that's okay. I think. Yeah.
Are we in the right place?
No, you're not, but that's okay. I can shift around. No big deal.
Ooh, who am I?
Yes, I know, Maeve. You gave Sarah gear. Okay, Sarah did get. Yes, she got gear from Maeve because Maeve decided to spend points. Let's do this. Go ahead, Sarah. Roll your gear. We'll talk to Patrick. Get through his character spiel, and then we'll take a break because I want to see if we can key into this.
Is it 1d8?
So it's 1d. Excuse me. It's 1d8 to start.
4.
Okay. Where is it?
Ow.
Sorry, folks. Okay, there we go. You said a 4?
Yes.
Oh, same thing as what Marcus got. Roll a 1d10.
1d10. 7.
Okay. Those are those are never sleep. So in the world of Alien, coffee's not enough. Never sleep are for when you just have to be absolutely 100% awake all the time to do your job.
Nice.
I don't know how you obtained those. Never sleep. But
don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to, Matt.
That's true. That's very, 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 very true. Okay, so let me go into Dot's character sheet and drop it.
I put it. I just typed it. Okay.
Oh, it's okay. I can drop it because it actually gives you like some flavor text too.
Oh, nice.
Your drift is a gift.
I also have a fake power loader license. Where do I get anything, Matt?
That's true. A fake class 2 rating power loader license. I love that.
It was either that or a motion tracker, but I decided the power loader license was much more fun.
Never Sleep Pills. Fast-acting supplement that keeps you going well past your bedtime. Excessive use can cause stroke or heart attack. Each dose increases your stress level 1 step, but removes the need for sleep for that day. During that day, you cannot relieve stress.
Interesting. I'll find a fun use for those, I'm sure.
I'm sure you'll slip them into somebody's food or something like that. And they're like, why can't I go to sleep? Okay, sorry. Back to Beau Tucker.
That's fine. Well, so Wildcatter as a new class does come with 3 new talents, which is fun. The Right Path. You have a canny knack for seeing the terrain in a way no one else can when getting into your vehicle safe and getting your vehicle safely where it needs to go. +2 to all piloting when driving a ground or submersible vehicle. So land and water piloting rather than spaceship piloting gets bump. Second, prospector. You are an expert prospector and can sniff out rich resources better than anyone. When prospecting, you roll twice on prospecting finds table and keep the best results. So that's fun.
Ooh.
And then miracle mechanic. Vehicle systems, life support, colony functions, and all types of machines break down just when you need them, but you're used to it. You can make a heavy machinery roll as a slow action to control, massage, pray, or use kind words to make an otherwise broken machine work for just a moment longer. Number of successes multiplied by 2 determines how many rounds the machine continues to operate when it's broken, with a minimum of 1 before it splutters to its last in a plume of black smoke. I am taking all 3 of those for Bo. Because yes.
You could take all 3 talents?
You only get 1 at a time, though.
Yeah.
You get 1 to start with.
Oh, I thought we started with... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You start with 1.
I thought it was all 3 because the way the
No, those are just...
I know the way your mind is thinking, but you got to take 1 at a time.
That's also fair. No, let's start with...
Miss Deadite says you're a tech priest, as in Warhammer 40k, yes. The machine spirit commands! Praise the Omniscient!
Well, let's start with miracle mechanic, which means my special item has to be the monkey wrench, right? It has to be that classic red forearm length giant pipe with a that's what we're doing here for Bo.
Cool.
And then there is also in the equipment, where is it here? Hold on. I am also going to go with a blast mining charge.
Okay.
Let's go full dynamite prospect.
Walking around like crazy Larry on the fucking Muppets, who's like just walking around with explosions.
And I think we're going to go with the 8x8 tractor from the player's handbook as my other Sig starter item.
So you literally get a tractor as a starting item? You get a vehicle?
Choose 2 of the starting items, either an eco suit or a Daihotai tractor, pup dumping device, or blast mining charges, personal med kit or flare pistol, heavy safari pack, or Samani watch.
Okay. So I guess you just couldn't leave old Bessie behind, and so you had to take her with you. Okay.
I will name her later.
Okay, that's fair.
I will say...
Oh, you get D6 blast mining charges. That's cool.
Oh, that what that says? I thought it was just
so you
type
get...
of...
No, you get D6.
8, 9,
you get a D6 of B9 blast mining charges.
Okay, so what did you get? Let's see how many you get.
5 out of 6.
You got
Nice,
kill everybody.
You got a 5. You rolled 5.
I'm Rocco from Boondock Saints. Oh my god.
So you got 5. Cool.
Bo is gonna be great. Oh,
Love
I'm so excited. Yes. And then I was thinking about the personal agendas that were provided, but I'm also totally fine to roll if party says let's random it.
I'm okay either way. It's really up to you. Yeah.
Because there was a personal agenda in the Wildcatters that I thought was interesting, which
great.
Where is it here? Sorry, let me scroll back to that page now.
Mm-hmm.
You're tormented by an everlasting itch for things remote and love to sail forbidden seas.
I like that. Wanderlust.
Okay.
I know it looks scary and weird out there. But me and baby girl, I'm going to ride it.
I'm going to take my tractor with me.
Full slim pickings. This is the problem. There are so many directions, and they're all cliche.
If at any point in time Patrick gets released from the hangar bay on his tractor, grabs his hat, and does this shit, then I'm
here for it.
I'm down for the ride.
So you're saying I can put repulsors on Betsy?
I have not said anything to that kind at all. But maybe
Betsy was the name of my rocket launcher.
I know. That's what he called her just now.
I said Bessie.
I haven't named the tractor yet.
Bessie.
Oh, okay.
Bessie. I thought you said Betsy.
That's fine. Yeah, an orbital drop. 100%. Can't wait. Okay. So, I think we've got our characters. we can determine if you guys want now, or I think, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and say that we should not have you guys knowing each other as of yet. So I don't think it's fair to give you guys the option to choose who your rival and buddy is until we have them meet each other. How does that fadge? Cool.
I'm down with that.
The other thing that I'm going to ask the 5 of you, now that we have you all lined up in a little row, is as per this particular campaign, you will all need to be affiliated with a certain government or corporation. So you can either choose or roll on the table that I have below to find out. Now, don't worry if you don't like the outcome, because your PC may be affiliated in a certain way, but it will bring great role-playing opportunities if you don't like the fact that you're affiliated with these particular people. Okay? So we've got corporations. We've got some small ones like Hyperdyne, Omnitech, or the Kaland Mining Corporation. Then we've got Weyland-Yutani, good old Wayu, woohoo! Then we've got governments, such as the Union of Progressive Peoples. Marcus, in shorthand, the space communists, right? Yes, they're the Russians, they are the Chinese, they are a variety of South American countries that all banded together in Old Earth to form this new government organization called the Union of Progressive Peoples. Then there is, of course, the United Americas. All of the South American countries that did not go over to the UPP, plus the United States, plus Canada. I guess Trump got his way after all. Who knew? Greenland did not go with him. Okay. And then there is, of course, the United Nations. Now, the United Nations is as it is today, a conglomerate of all of the other non-affiliated countries that have combined together for the good of Earth itself. If you think about like, I don't know, like a universe like the Expanse universe, you don't talk about the United States, you don't talk about China, you don't talk about Russia, you talk about just the UN, right, when it talks to Earth governments. The UN, in this respect, is in that same sort of, we don't talk about just America or China or Russia or the CANC or even the Three World Empire, which we'll get to in a second. It is all nations for Earth, right? That's the United Nations. The next one in the list is, as I just mentioned, the Three World Empire. So the Three World Empire is a combination of Great Britain and other European nations that banded together pretty much, around this time in the early part of the 21st century to form a direct alliance with such corporations as the Weyland Group before they were made the Weyland-Yutani Group. And then last but not least is the Interstellar Commerce Commission. These are the folks that literally rule over, they don't care what country pays them. They don't care about politics. They don't care about any of that shit. They just care about the almighty dollar of whatever nation constantly flowing. So those are the affiliations that you can choose, or I can simply have you roll on that table. How does anybody feel strongly in any direction?
I'd like to roll.
And everything else, I'd rather just roll.
You want to just roll, Julie? Okay, that's cool. Ben, Sarah, Marcus, Patrick?
I'd like to roll.
Marcus wants to roll?
I suppose the UA would probably be appropriate.
I think so, too. Although, who knows? Like, could be a disgraced Marine, and all of a sudden, I make more money with the UPP than I ever did with the United Americas. Right? Could
Let's
be
go
that.
UA.
UA, done. Okay.
I don't hate the Explorers Academy with this agenda.
Explorer? I'm sorry, are you talking about...
Doing Three Worlds.
Oh,
Sir Peter Weyland's Explorers Academy from the Three Worlds.
The Three World Empire.
Like, listen, if it gets me and my tractor out there just survey a new territory.
Yep.
It's not that bad.
Sir Peter Wayland was one of the founding members of the Three World Empire. Their flag is sort of a triangular shape that looks like the Union Jack. Mm-hmm.
I think that my parents worked for the mining corporation, but the uncle that I am currently in transit to is ISIC.
Okay, ICC.
ICC.
Yes. There's sorry, just to be sure, the ICC, which is the Interstellar
Commerce Corporation.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sarah. Just make a
So
note.
that's who I'm being sent to right
Beautiful.
now.
So those of you who have made choices, make a note of that so we don't forget. And so for Julie and Marcus, let's go ahead and roll. Let's see what you get. Go ahead and roll 2d6. Julie. Okay, you got a 3. So that means that you need
Is
to...
that a 3 or is that a 21?
No, this is not a D66 roll. This is just a 2d6 roll. So, Julie, go ahead and roll me another d6, please. Okay, that's a 6. So that means that you actually you affiliate yourself with the Kelland Mining Corporation. I'll put that in chat just so you can make the note of that.
All right. And where should I write that at?
You can make that in any note capacity that you have. The Kelland, Mining Corporation.
I will just put it in my personal agenda where it's easy to see.
Easy, absolutely. Yeah, Kelland Mining Corporation. Maybe your backstory has something to do with them as well. Okay. And now Marcus. Marcus rolled a 5. Okay. Marcus, guess what? You're a Wayland-Yutani scientist.
Nice.
You work for the big WY. No sneakiness there. Not at all. Failed projects that you'd want to get revenge on. Maybe getting someone...
I like this.
There's a lot of juiciness in there.
And I have the potential to be able to control people's dreams.
Oh my fucking
my
God. Yep, definitely Wayland-Yutani.
That tracks.
100% tracks. Okay.
I shall torment you with my laser pointer.
So here's what we'll do. We will now play... I'm going to go ahead and play the introduction video to our campaign. I've played this video, which I made for the 5 of them. For you, chat, I'm going to play it for you. And then after that video, we'll go straight to break. Thank you all for hanging out with us for such an awesome time as we make our characters in this amazing universe. I hope you enjoy this little introduction video to the campaign that we've just started tonight, which is called The Lost Worlds. And yeah, with that, I turn it over to the amazing folks who you will be seeing very, very soon. Don't go anywhere. Wayland-Yutani, building better worlds. By the year 2055, the unfettered growth of the megacorporations meant that private equity led the way to the stars. The British Wayland Corporation established settlements in what became known as the Far Spinward Colonies, then brought them under the auspices of the newly formed Three World Empire. But while Wayland and the 3WE were the prime movers behind this expansion, the colonists themselves came from all walks of life, including the Chinese Asian Nations Cooperative, the CANC, a supernation subsequently absorbed by the UPP. All told, 18 colonies were established, inhabited by millions of hopeful pioneers. Then, 75 years ago, disaster. The space between the Outer Rim and the Far Spinward colonies was scoured by massive solar ejections, gamma bursts, and waves of radiation. The time known as the Isolation had come. Travel was made impossible, and all communication with the new colonies was lost. Cut off from the middle heavens, the far spinward colonies were left to fend for themselves and forgotten. Until now. Looking for a common cause to unite the squabbling superpowers, the United Nations proposed a multinational expedition, the Great Mother Mission, to unite humanity behind a common goal and reclaim the lost colonies. In 2180, the United Nations proposed that a multinational, multi-corporation expedition should travel to learn the fate of the far spinward colonies and reconnect them to the middle heavens. Recession and the recollection of the abundance in the old colonies made this a mouth-watering prospect to the UA, 3WE, and UPP alike. The Great Mother Mission was established by the United Nations Interstellar Settlement Corps, the UNISC, under the command of a UN bureaucrat, Governor Kolwa Abantu. Naturally, the Interstellar Commerce Commission, the ICC, were to be well represented to ensure fair play, and all safety protocols were stringently followed. A colossal Deucalion-class colony ship, the UNCSS Ianla, was launched in 2182 with its 4 Magellan-class support ships, the UNCSS Umsindisi, UNCSS Sovoletsky Island, UNCSS Chimata no Kami, and UNCSS Typhoon. With the addition of 3 Throop Rescue and Recovery CM-90V Corvus-class salvage vessels, the flotilla was ready to sail. The United Nations Interstellar Settlement Corps' mandate for the mission derives from the articles of the Pan-National Great Mother Mission Accord of 2181, signed by all participating nations and agencies. The mission parameters are as follows. 1. Establish contact with the far spinward colonies and provide immediate humanitarian support as necessary. 2. Survey the sector and establish new UN-administered colonies. 3. Recover existing colonial records for each colony, stored in local long data disks. 4. Negotiate terms under which surviving colonies should return to UNISC oversight. 5. Assess the future technological, industrial, and financial potential. 6. Adhere to all Interstellar Commerce Commission protocols and regulations and collaborate in the spirit of the greater good. On the eve of launch, the Secretary General of the UN gave an address to the people of Earth.
We are blessed, all of us here today, to see what humankind can do when we put our heads together in cooperation, rather than bang our heads together in confrontation. The Great Mother Mission has brought about the Great Partnership, the partnership of all the supernations and megacorporations working together for the good of humankind. Together, you will find the lost colonies, restore their people, banish the isolation, and bring our lost brothers and sisters back into the family of humanity. The Great Mother Mission is a beacon of collaboration and friendship, an example to all of a better future, standing not arms versus arms, but arm in arm. Godspeed, Ianla.
All right, we're back. Thanks for hanging out and waiting for us to come back, folks. We're going to just fill out the rest of this particular session with, with the beginning of our campaign. We've got our 5 characters.
Yay!
And we're going to see what occurs with these 5 characters as they find out about each other and about the mission that they are all on. Now, if you guys saw just previous to break the video that explains the current situation, that there is a a UN-designated mission to the lost colonies within the Spinward section of the galaxy. These lost colonies came about because of something called the Isolation, where due to a variety of horrible galaxy-crossing disasters, including radiation and supernovae and things of that ilk, the communications to these colonies have been completely severed, and have been for quite a while. These 18 colonies were established probably over 200 years ago. Whether or not there is any human life on any of them is still a question mark. The survey that was done the most recently was probably about 100 or so years ago, just prior to the Isolation. So I'm going to share with you, all 5 of you have an idea of what exactly these 18 colonies are about. There's a list of them. I'm going to share with you as a handout this list of colonies. They all have certain names and planet designations and all that jazz, and they are all disparately separated throughout the galaxy. Let me give you the handout for this. It is now coming up. It's called Colony Reports. So these are the different colonies. Sorry for the size of the actual handout on your screen, folks. That's the way it looks. So you have a whole bunch of different colonies, some named like May Outpost, or Dylan Colony, or Archimedes Colony, or Nightingale Colony. Excuse me. And the population that was determined for each colony was as of the last census that was taken there approximately 100 or so years ago. Okay.
6.5 million, damn.
Yeah, some of them are
Big-ass colony.
enormous. Some of them are just teeming with people, according to what it was like 100 years ago. But lots of things have occurred in the last 100 years, politically, and also from the perspective of how the rest of the Earth deals with each other. So there are a variety of attempts from various institutions and governments to try to sway these colonies, especially some of the large ones, to their side if there were to be, a galaxy-spanning war. Luckily, when you left, although things were a little tense between the United Americas and the Union of Progressive Peoples, war hadn't necessarily broken out as of yet. So those are the colony reports. Another item that I'm going to give to you in your handouts is going to be your personal contract. That's right, folks. You work for a living. You sign a fucking contract. And here's what it looks like. It's a binding contract between you and the Interstellar Commerce Commission, the ICC. It says, this binding contract is signed between, type your name here, etc., employed as a, type your name here, aboard the UNCSS Sovoletsky Island and the United Nations Interstellar Settlement Corps for a minimum duration of either 4 years or 1 day after all the far spinward colonies have been formally assessed, whichever is the sooner, at the rate of, and then we'll determine what your weekly rate of pay is depending on who you are, Wayland-Yutani dollars per expedition week, 1 quarter pay during periods of hypersleep. Gotta love corporations. As explained in the video, the mission parameters and your responsibilities under this contract are as follows. 1. Establish contact with the far spinward colonies and provide immediate humanitarian support as necessary. 2. Survey the sector and establish new UN-administered colonies. 3. Recover existing colonial records for each colony stored in local long data disks. 4. Negotiate terms under which surviving colonies should return to UNISC oversight. 5, assess the future technological, industrial, and financial potential. 6, adhere to all Interstellar Commerce Commission protocols and regulations and collaborate in the spirit of the greater good. It gives more information. It says that the Great Mother mission consists of the colony vessel UNCSS Iyanla, which, by the way, is a specific African dialect, which means Great Mother, by the way, in real life. The 4 science exploration vessels, and it lists of those vessels, one being the one that you've signed on for, the UNCSS Umsindisi, Sovoletsky Island, Chimata no Kami, and Typhoon. You're actually supposedly employed above the Sovoletsky Island. And the 3 support vessels of Throop, Rescue, and Recovery. Throop is a name, a company name that you recognize, although you're not necessarily affiliated with it, in that they own a fleet of cargo, salvage, and rescue vessels. If you guys remember, out of character for a second, if you remember that Aliens in the very beginning, Ripley's ship was boarded by a salvage vessel. This salvage vessel was actually a contract vessel under the Throop Rescue and Recovery organization. Crew is from, and then when it talks about the crew, it means not just you, but other people on the crew of the Sovoletsky Island and other ships, is from the Three World Empire, United Americas, Union of Progressive Peoples, and independent contractors with sponsorship by Weyland-Yutani, Hyperdyne Corporation, Omnitech Resources, and the Kelland Mining Company. The mission comes under the auspices of the United Nations Interstellar Settlement Corps, under the command of the UN Governor Kolwa Abantu. Now, those of you who have been alive for the past 40 years would know who Kolwa Abantu is. He's a very well-known, very kind-hearted, very optimistic member of the international and corporate community. He is considered to be very well what's the best word I can put for it? Very well connected with other individuals, whether that be connections within the United Americas military or whether it be connections within other corporations such as Weyland-Yutani. He has his fingers in lots of different pies, but not in a bad way, in the way that is best for Earth. He runs the United Nations. And so to that end, Kolwa Abantu has made it his priority to bring the peoples of Earth back home. Further to this contract, it says additional bonus salary may be earned for finds, discoveries, or resource rights once any claim has been registered, logged past all Interstellar Commerce Commission regulatory checks, including obligatory quarantine requirements where necessary, and its value formally assessed. In layman's terms, if you pick shit up along your way that are of value, you may get dollar money for it. One minor caveat: all wages will be forfeit if you fail to meet your responsibilities and or your conduct fails to reach the minimum standards of behavior and professionalism as noted in the Articles of Employment, pages 17 through 51. Hell if you know where any of that shit is. Welcome aboard the Great Mother mission. That's the contract. You guys have already signed it, so don't even try to weasel out now. Now, what I'd like to do before we actually start the RP is find out what your 5 connections are individually to the Great Mother mission. Now, we can, again, see if we can choose, or we can have you guys roll on a table. Depends what you guys want. If any of you, after hearing these options, feel like you want to roll for it, just let me know, and we can roll for it again, okay? So here are the reasons why you folks may be connected to the mission. Number 1, none. You're in this for the money. Amen to that. Number 2, you are curious about what happened out in the far Spinward colonies, but beyond that, This is just a job to you. Number 3, the people of the colonies must be suffering. The Great Mother mission is vital in helping them recover. Number 4, your ancestors settled in the far Spinward colonies before the isolation. We can roll to see which one colony your ancestors settled in. You need to find their descendants, or find out what happened to them if you can. Number 5, you and a few close family or friends are looking for a fresh start. They lie asleep aboard the UNCSS Yanla while you work to find that new future. And 6, you're all in for a new life and future. Your entire family and many friends are in Cryosleep on UNCSS Yanla, waiting for you to find them their new home. So those are the options, folks. Do any of you feel strongly about any of those 6?
Yeah.
Which one,
I
Julie?
like the last one. The last one.
All of your family are in Cryosleep above the Yanla. I love it. Okay. So please make a note of that in your personal agenda or any other note place where you would like to put it.
I'm digging ancestors.
Your ancestors are on one of the colonies?
Yeah.
Do you want to know which one? We can roll on the table if you'd like.
Yeah, let's roll on the table.
Superb. All right, give me one sec. Let's do it. 160. Okay, go ahead and roll a d66.
Okay, we do that with my character sheet. 52.
52. Okay. You know that your ancestors are on... Let me just look here. Your ancestors are on May Outpost, a population of thousands, supposedly, in this particular outpost.
Okay, cool.
So somewhere in May Outpost, your ancestors lived and thrived.
I don't have a lot of family, and I'm looking for family.
Yeah, yeah. So put that under your note that you know that your ancestors are from May Outpost, which is also known as Colony KOI-610.01. Okay?
I'll look that up in the sheet later.
Superb. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else have any strong feelings either way?
I really like the curiosity about what happened to the colonies.
Cool. Chosen.
Did they find something? Did they sever the silence? Did they? Especially if potentially with Kellen, or if we find stuff and we make money, the idea of a wildcatter potentially getting rich. Are they protecting a secret? Did something bad happen?
Right. Okay. Put a note of that.
Yeah.
Love it. Ben and Marcus.
I'll let the dice decide.
Marcus wants to roll. Ben is like, I'm in for the money, baby. Oh, let's love it. Ben's so simple. I love it. He's like, I don't mean that in a bad way, Ben. I mean it in just easy, straightforward. Fuck this. I'm a Marine. I'm an ex-Marine, and I just need the money. Let's go. Shit, yeah. Hell yeah. Hoorah. Okay, Marcus, you want to roll. You want to roll for it, yeah? What'd you get there? You got a 3. Okay. According to this, it is... Sorry, here we go. The people of the colonies... This makes sense. You're a scientist. The people of the colonies must be suffering. The Great Mother mission is vital in helping them recover. So, a bit of altruism from our Weyland-Yutani scientist.
From our otherwise equipped to be super evil Weyland-Yutani.
Exactly, right? All shades of gray. All shades of gray. I love it. So just make a note of that on your character sheet.
How many shades of gray?
49 and a half.
63.
66. Okay, is everybody good with their connections now? Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. So we begin Oh my gosh, this is great. We begin our story on a SEV freighter. This SEV freighter is making its way towards the already launched and waiting near Jupiter Station UNCSS Iyanla. There are dozens of people aboard this vessel, all of them crew members of different ships. You see on their uniforms, you see names like UNCSS Typhoon, UNCSS Shimada no Kami. You can tell that they are destined for those particular ships. Your 5 uniforms say the UNCSS Sovoletsky Island. That is the name of the ship that once you board the UNCS Iyanla, you will be then debarking from that colony ship to the UNCSS Sovoletsky Island after a very long cryosleep. So you know that you're going towards the UNCSS Iyanla. You can see it in the viewport as you look out the window. You are all debarking from Earth or wherever your originating territories were, making a single stop at Anchorhead Station. Anchorhead is this massive, you saw it in if you saw the movie Aliens, Ripley is brought to Anchorhead Station, where she is, brought into convalescence after her very long hypersleep. And then from Anchorhead out there, she goes to LV-426. But Anchorhead is not enormously far from Jupiter. Based on the rate of travel, it takes you approximately a week in space aboard this SEV vessel to reach the UNCSS Iyanla, which is a colossal ship, and I mean that in no uncertain terms. This ship dwarfs anything that you have ever seen in your entire life. I'm going to give you a handout of what this ship may look like. Give me 1 second to find it. Hold on. Actually, I have to add it first. Apologies. Let me just add it first. UNCSS Iyanla. The actual ship itself is it's a very interesting looking shape. It has sort of it's a long, thin inner vessel, but it has these sort of long stretches along the verticality of it that seem to be rows and rows and rows of colonist, not necessarily like houses per se, but just sort of large sort of toruses that you would assume would be places that the colonists themselves would be ensconced for hypersleep. So you would imagine that there are thousands and thousands and thousands of hypersleeping colonists aboard the UNCSS Iyanla. So I'm going to give you a handout of what it is that the Iyanla looks like, at least from the perspective of sort of a floor plan per se. So we're talking, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner of this handout, that little square is 100 by 100 meters. This ship is fucking massive. We're talking probably, I don't know, if that's 100 meters, 100 of those, this is like 10,000 feet long. 10,000 meters long. So a 30,000 foot ship. Right? It's basically the size of Manhattan.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's Manhattan in ship form.
Maybe a little, maybe half the size of Manhattan. Right, 30,000 feet is
how many
yeah.
miles is that?
That's like 5 miles. No,
Okay,
no.
Manhattan.
It's more than that actually, because if a mile is 1,500, well, if a mile is shit. Somebody help me out. What the hell much is a mile?
I can't remember. That's why.
Quick to Google. How much is a mile in feet? A mile in feet is 5,280 feet. So it would be 6 miles.
So yeah, about half Manhattan.
Yeah, 6 miles long. Astralis Plays, who has been watching all of our Alien games, has suggested thousands and thousands and thousands of xenomorph incubators. Shush. Shush. I don't need...
What's a xenomorph?
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Give him the mic.
Xenobabies.
We helped you. We gave you Americans the metric system, but you refused to use it. Damn straight. We're about imperial system.
Because Merca.
Fuck yeah.
Ship Hatton? Yes, Zynarth. Ship Hatton.
I like it. I like ship Hatton.
Yes, this is the UNCSS Iyanla. And although you may have a little bit of a hard time sort of straining your eyes to read the information within the handout, you will see that the majority of the ship is taken up by engineering and atmosphere processors. Y'all remember that movie Aliens, right? Y'all remember that giant thing that they flew into at the very end that was supposedly terraforming the planet that looked like a giant sort of, I don't know, upside down pyramid, like a Mesopotamian pyramid kind of thing? Well, guess what? There's 4 of them on this spaceship attached.
We manufacture this.
Yes, we manufacture this, by the way. 100% right, Ben. So there's 4 atmosphere processors attached to the Iyanla. The other portions of the ship are dedicated to, of course, the command module, the transit module, the Cryosleep modules A through D, cryopreservation and store modules, and, of course, the thing that pushes the ship out into space, the drive module. That's the Iyanla. Your ship is not the Iyanla. Your ship is the UNCSS Sovoletsky Island, which you also see attached to the Iyanla via docking cables. I will also give you the handout for that. That's what this particular ship looks like, at least from the side.
Oh, fun.
Looks kind of like the Nostromo, if you ask me.
Not so
Good
fun,
question,
but
Matt.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
The contract report spells it as Solovetsky. Is it Sovoletsky or Solovetsky?
You are completely correct. It is Sovoletsky Island, not Solovetsky. Sovoletsky. I'll say that 5 times fast, just as soon as I figure out how to pronounce Zhimyevsky. Fuck! God damn it, Sarah, I knew you would say it before I would. Yeah, Zhimyevsky, Sovoletsky, Havapetsky. Okay. Okay. So, that is the UNCSS
You were right the first time. Sovoletsky. Think Soviet. Sovoletsky.
Sovoletsky Island. I will get it right, folks. I've only got the rest of the campaign to get it right. It's totally fine. Okay.
Only up from here.
It's so weird. It changes in the module. It's called the Solovetsky, and then it says the Sovoletsky because it actually says it in the module. It actually says Solovetsky Island in the module. But you said
there are typos in the module, is what we're hearing.
I would never blame Free League for any kind of typos ever, because they make great shit.
I wasn't bashing anybody.
But-
I was just asking.
They probably want to hear about
Oh
it.
yeah, contract does say Solovetsky.
But it does say Solovetsky?
The contract says
And that's why
Solovetsky.
Okay, so if
But I
that's
could have sworn somewhere else when I was skimming stuff that it did say. That's why I wanted to check and see
it's
which was the mispronunciation.
Solovetsky.
Solovetsky, like Han
The
Solovetsky.
Vetsky is all alone.
Like-
Solovetsky.
Okay,
Single Vetsky.
only one
Only
Vetsky.
one Vetsky.
Oh,
But see,
man.
when you're down in Miami, you have to buy a pair of Vetskis so that you can hang out with a friend.
Jesus Christ.
both in neon colors.
Stop. Your banter isn't ready yet, okay? You don't have it yet.
I don't even have banter yet. Hey, tell me no things banter.
So,
I'm just here for the fun.
Solovetsky Island.
Solovetsky.
We've
Han
got.
Solovetsky shot.
That's what I said. Han Solovetsky shot
Yeah.
first. Right. Okay.
There we go.
Solid. Okay. So you look out the window and you spy the two ships. A sort of bearded individual with dark glasses sort of leans over towards you, Bella, and says in a thick Eastern European accent, he says, "He's beautiful, no?"
It is quite beautiful.
He smiles, and you see that he has like a little bit of a glint in his mouth, and you spy a gold tooth. He says, "Oh, you are," and he points to your uniform. He says, "You are also on my ship."
I am.
Was that a question?
No. Just saying I am. I'm here.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Pleasure to meet you. He sort of lifts a hand, and you see it's calloused in the middle of it. Large hand, sort of hair on the back of his hand.
Extend my hand. My name is Bella.
Nice to meet you, Bella. I am Davor. Davor Koblenz. What particular role are you taking on the Solovetsky Island?
By trade, I'm a singer, so maybe relieve a little stress for those in need.
I've got a handout as to what this gentleman looks like, by the way. I'm going to pull his token onto the board so you guys can see it for the first time. This is Davor Koblenz.
He looks so trustworthy. All over that guy.
He says, "Well, I will see you aboard the Yanla. Maybe I can get you a drink, yes?"
I would like that very much.
Excellent, excellent. And then he just crosses his arms, tips his dark glasses up a little higher on the bridge of his nose, and then tips his head back, and seems to fall asleep. Beaucephus, you spy two folks sort of spying each other across the way from your perspective, both of whom have quite aggressive looks on their face, shall we call it, as they stare at each other. Both of them are women. Both of them are dark-skinned. One is perhaps a little bit more muscular than the other. The other one perhaps more lean. Both of them are wearing the exact same uniform as you. That say UNCSS Sovoletsky Island. You see that the more muscular of the two has tribal tattoos on the bottom portion of her chin, underneath her lip, that sort of spread out underneath her face. You recognize these as most likely Native American tattoos of some kind.
You said I noticed the two of them sort of having a staring contest. Is it like actively hostile? Is it just an intense conversation?
They're not talking. They're just staring at each other.
Can I get anything out of their body language?
So here we go. First roll of the game here, folks.
Somebody's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it. Go ahead and make an observation roll.
Here's my dump stat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not go through? Hold on.
It did not go through.
Is it querying?
Yes, that's something that you will learn
Oh,
in the game, is that when you roll a specific skill, when you click on the skill to roll it, there will be a little modal window that pops up in the middle that asks if you have any modifiers to it. Modifiers can be situational. So, for example, if you are shooting from a long distance away, you will have a negative modifier. If you're shooting from too close up, for example, as well, you may have a negative modifier. Those are negative modifiers, but you also may have positive modifiers that say, for example, I have certain situations, I'll give you a bonus, etc. Okay, Beaucephus, that's your first roll, and it is a failure. Do you want to push the roll, or do you find that you don't necessarily need to be so sort of intense about the whole thing?
I think so. Bo, I've tweaked a little bit in the break, and I've been furiously figuring out what kind of mechanic type I want to be. So Bo is, while he's a little out of shape, he is still somewhat on the the wirely muscular side, and he has got a mechanics jumpsuit version of the Solovetsky. It's gonna happen every session.
It is.
But because he is trying to build himself a new life and has found more peace with the tractor than anything else, Bo is he's going to try and adjust and zip up his a little bit and adjust his handkerchief to cover that he's got some tattoos of his own near the neck and wrists. Because he doesn't want it to be any sort of gang signy approach. But he is going to adjust those and get sort of an ascot thing going on with his handkerchief is pretty classic red doily pattern kerchief. But grease stained, definitely not the prime condition of an ascot by any stretch of the imagination, just sort of tucked around bandana style. And he's just going to sort of chill by himself and be like, I don't know what's going on over there. They look a little bit more intense than me, and I'm not looking to start in a fight.
Are you saying this to yourself, out loud, or are you just just in your mind?
In my mind, I'm not. I don't think he says that out loud.
That's
fair.
He
does sort of shuffle a little in his seat and maybe positions himself so that if he sees anything more than this questionable hostility that he can't quite determine, that he can leap into action. So legs no longer crossed, a little bit more primed and ready to leap up if he has to.
Okay. So those are the two.
He's gonna.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was gonna say he's also just gonna run a grease. Have we been freshly out of cryo, or has this been a while?
I mean, you've been on the ship for about a week on your way to the Ionla.
Then yeah, it's grease-covered mechanic's hands through his sort of shorter, spiky blonde hair, and just and then that's all he's gonna do. It's he's not gonna unintentionally. He's drawing attention to himself, but he's trying to play it cool.
Got it. Let me give you a quick visual on who these particular ladies, what they look like, I should say. So this is the one who has. Did that go through? It didn't go through for some reason.
We see it.
Oh, you do see it? Yes, chat did not for some reason. Let's try this again. Get my partner for 1 second. Shift Z. There we go. And then there we go. Okay. Yeah. So that is the individual who has tribal tattoos underneath her lip. And then the other one, a little bit thinner, a little bit less sort of muscular, but also very intense. She seems to wear some kind of a uniform that you do not recognize. At least, she wears the uniform of the Solovetsky Island, but she also wears a hat, a cap, some kind of military cap that you don't recognize. Okay. Hank Savage, what are you doing on this boring as fuck trip to keep yourself busy?
Oh, probably just talking to people.
Who are you talking to? You just gonna pick someone who's random? You got a couple people. You got at least 3 people there. That, beyond the folks that we've already discussed. There, we've got I'll give you a choice of folks that you would like to talk to. There is a sort of there's a young lady with a cowboy hat on. There is a man with a leather jacket on and sort of a gruff appearance, And then there is who is very clearly sort of a very awkward-looking individual with close-cropped hair and very nice teeth.
Gotcha. So, do I recognize the military cover that woman is wearing?
Let's see. Make an observation roll. Might as well say. That is a success. So yeah, I think that you do recognize the cover. This is a hat that the Three World Empire utilizes. She specifically looks like that she's wearing the cover for the Royal Marines.
All right. I'll plop down next to her.
Oh, okay. She sort of looks at you and says, "How can I help you?"
I just see that I'm not the only Marine on this boat.
Oh, you served.
I did.
United
How long were you
Americans?
in? Yep.
Indeed. She spies the badge on your on your chest, and she says, "Oh, you're part of the crew as well, yes?"
I am. Just here for the fun of it.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. And she raises a hand in your direction to give you a handshake.
Shake her hand. Say, Savage, what's your name?
Amir. Hamida Amir.
Oh, pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I've been designated as the security chief aboard the UNCSS Solovetsky Island. Bloody name.
Yeah, right?
Yes. Can't they think of something easier like the encouragement or the esteem or something like that?
That certainly would make life easy, but that's not their job.
No, I suppose it's not. Anywho, what's your specific tag aboard the ship, then, yeah?
I guess that would be muscle.
Military support as well.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. She says, "May I ask you a question?"
Absolutely.
"Have you heard the news?" And she starts to speak in a sort of a little bit of a louder fashion, almost as if she's trying to be heard. "Have you heard the news regarding New Albion?"
I have not.
From behind you, you hear the sound.
So what's the news?
She says, "The New Albion colony has seemingly revolted from the Three World Empire." Horrible, that, wouldn't you agree?
Probably. I guess I'd have to know the details.
Do you, as part of the UA, know anything regarding New Albion or the New Albion Protectorate?
No, not really.
Well, this is going to be a very long trip. Suffice it to say, they are traitors, and they ought to be treated as them. And as she says that, the woman behind you stands up, offers a glower at this woman, and then spins on her heel and walks to the back of the ship.
I'm betting she's one of them.
Oh, you need not bet. I can tell. She gives off the same stench.
Gotcha.
Well, anyway, it was a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Savage, was it?
It was.
What is your rank whilst you were in the service?
Gunnery sergeant.
Excellent. I was a lieutenant.
How about you?
Lieutenant.
Well, nice to meet you, sir.
It's ma'am, but that's quite all right.
Well, you never know.
That's fair. The UA do have their strange clauses when it comes to titles or the like. So it comes after that conversation as very strange to you, Dot, that, well, actually, before I even talk to you about who it is that you're meeting, what are you doing aboard this ship?
Dot has procured a ballpoint pen and is drawing on the leg of her pants.
What are you drawing?
Just random doodles, swirls, squiggles, interesting looking geometric shapes and patterns.
Okay. Make an observation roll. Just for funsies. We're gonna have everybody start rolling just for fun to see how everybody does with this kind of stuff. 2 successes. Okay.
Nice.
Now,
Very observant.
a piece of information regarding successes more than a single success. When you succeed in a skill, if you roll over a single success, you can use the additional successes to do special things called stunts. Those stunts can aid you in the here and now or later on in the game, actually. So you can potentially bank those stunts in order for you to use them later. Let me see if I can give you the stunts for observation.
Observation is just more questions in the moment. It's like, are there more of them nearby? How do I get in, past,
Ooh, that didn't
away? Or something else. There's
Yeah, I have to fix that macro. It did
Or it
not
might
work.
just be new and
Is it
and
coming
good
for me?
information is Comtech. Let's see.
Is it coming for me more close by how in passed away?
Oh, that's what is it coming for me?
Okay.
I like it.
I will give this one to you just because it's very clear that it is coming for you and it's getting closer. You hear the sound.
boy.
You hear the sound of music coming from behind you, and the sound of like dancing footsteps in a rhythmic pattern to this music, and you hear. Take on me, take on me, take me. And he starts to, this male voice comes from behind you and starts singing, and you see him spinning through the aisle and then lands in front of you. This individual has a leather jacket on. He's probably in his mid-30s, maybe late 30s, and he's got what you would probably consider to be an antique of headphones with the foam padding, kind of like the ones that I'm wearing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's singing like essentially a classic pop song from the 1980s.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, sorry, I didn't realize there were kids around."
I'm not a kid.
Oh, my fault. Nice to make your acquaintance. You
Okay, looks at him for a second. Okay.
you're part of the mission then, eh?
Would I be on this ship if I wasn't?
I don't know. Stowaways occur.
Right, because this is exactly where someone wants to stow away.
I
Off to God
mean,
knows where.
let me tell you, there's worse places to be on Earth. I can tell you that.
Okay, fine, you got me there. No, I'm not a stowaway. Yes, I'm supposed to be here.
So
What about you?
you're part of the Great Mother Mission, eh?
Yeah, why wouldn't I be?
I didn't realize they hired him that young, to be perfectly honest.
I told you, I'm not a kid. I just have good skin.
Right, good skin, that's for sure. You, yeah, sorry, you kind of remind me of someone I know. It's, what's your name?
I'm Dot. She'll hold out her hand to shake.
He takes you by the hand and shakes your hand. Let me give you the, what's it called for this guy? Let me give you the token for this gent. Yeah. That's what this gentleman looks like.
Nice.
He's got like a little bit of a mustache on his top lip. He says, "A pleasure to meet you, Dot. I'm I'm Andy Dudgeon, but everyone calls me just Dudge.
Okay, Dudge. What do you do here?
Well, me, I'm a pilot. And, kind of like in charge of, and he points out the window, flying that fucking thing. Oh, sorry. Language.
Doesn't fucking bother me.
Ooh, look at the spice on that one. And you're part of this sort of Esky Island crew then, eh?
Looks that way.
Nice. What kind of things you do? Just so I can make sure that we are all knowing what our uses are.
You know, cargo handling, crawling into tiny spaces. Pays to be little.
I can see that. I was little once. Long ago. Well, I'm gonna just put on me headphones here. Unless you like music.
Music?
Yeah, music. I consider myself a connoisseur of the best music generation that has ever occurred in the last 250 years. Do you know when they were?
No.
I'll tell you, it was the 1980s. 1980 to 1989. We don't count 1990 because that's kind of like when weird stuff happened with like, grunge and what they call parachute pants. So we just sort of stop it right at 1989. But that era of music, amazing. Have a listen, and he sort of like takes his headphones off his neck, and he hands them to you.
She will somewhat trepidatiously put them on.
Let me know if this is too loud, all right? And he takes out from his pocket where the headphones were trailing from, and it is an ancient Dolby cassette recorder. And he presses a button on it, and you hear the strains of synth and synthetic drums and the mellifluous voice of Aha straining through your ears.
Oh, little bit.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. One second. Turns the volume down a bit. I know, that guy can sing high, right? I tried to sing it every day, and I can never get to the note. It's like, take me. I can't do it.
Yeah, she's like kind of bopping along. She's very skeptical at first, but like as the song continues, you can see that like she's kind of getting into it.
He smiles. It's like, you and I are going to be real good friends. Dot.
Okay. And she kind of takes one. She's like, "It's catchy. I can see why you like it."
Yeah. Just wait. I mean, I've got dozens and dozens of cassettes back in my bag. So, if you want any, I can lend you.
Is that what that thing is called? That's a cassette?
Yeah, it's a cassette tape player. That's what they call it.
Huh. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
Never seen anything
personally,
quite like that.
I think the sound is better on one of these than any digital. But that's just what I think. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll take your word for it.
Oh, don't take my word for it. Listen to some. But anyway, we'll have plenty of time on the ship, right?
Right.
Right.
I'll see you around, Dudge.
Yeah. Dudge. It's like a 1980s cop duo, right? Like it. Love it. And he just puts his headphones on, spins, and then you just hear him singing horribly as he wanders back down the aisle.
And she kind of watched it for a second. She goes, "Weirdo," and just goes back to doodling on the leg of her pants.
Such a teenager. I love it, Sarah.
Point.
Okay. Chesterton. You see two individuals that are in deep conversation. who have seemingly struck up a conversation maybe a minute or two after you sort of noticed them. One is a thin, pale individual with close-cropped hair, and as he speaks, you see his teeth are very straight and extremely clean. He's making very sort of erratic movements, and you can tell that he's kind of got a little bit of an OCD personality, to be perfectly honest, and it's made more so by the fact that he is discussing a variety of topics with someone who is extremely languid, extremely calm, extremely sort of collected, a female with a very large, very beaten-in cowboy hat. I'm going to give you the tokens of who these two look like. Okay. So this is the pale-faced individual. Looks like that. And then this is the lady with the cowboy hat.
How far away are they from me? Can I hear what they're saying?
Yeah, you can make out what they're saying. You can make out most of what they're saying, but if you want to hear all of what they're saying, you're going to need to make an observation roll.
Of course I do. Wait, hang on. My pop-up is hidden.
No worries. Yeah, they tend to be sometimes a little hidden underneath your windows and stuff like that.
All right. I gotta shrink it.
No problem. 2 successes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, with that, you can overhear the younger one of the young man start speaking about. He says, you know, every time I try to get my job done, it just seems to completely fly apart. I get a message on my PDAT from my supervisor, who says that I am delving too deep, and that the rules and regulations are there for a reason. But yet, whenever I try to go back at my supervisor and tell him that not only here, but the entire company is disregarding these rules, and then they just laugh at me. I mean, I just feel like I'm in the wrong job. And the woman of the two, she sort of like taps him on the shoulder and says, listen, I'm sorry that you have such a horrible relationship with your employer, but we're all here to do a job. I mean, you signed up for this just as much as I did. That's what you hear.
I feel like Chesterton, as he's trying to hear, is not realized how close he has gotten to these individuals. He's kind of a little bit socially awkward. So he's very clearly eavesdropping on this conversation, and has gotten way too close to them. And he mumbles to himself, classic corporate overuse of oversight, in a way too audible, like a way too loud voice for how close he is to them. But he is speaking to himself.
Okay.
I don't know if they hear him when he says that.
What do you say? Sorry, I missed that.
I say classic overuse of company oversight.
They both sort of turn and look at you, and the young man says, That's exactly right. That is 100% correct. Right. I just don't understand why the company can get away with shit like this. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so foul-mouthed. Apologies. And then he looks at your sort of the way that you're probably the way that you're dressed, or the way that you consider, probably with whatever your scientific outfit on, I would assume. And he says, I'm sorry, you're part of our crew.
Correct.
Oh, so I can see that we're of the same accord when it comes to the company. Then, yes.
No.
He purses his brow. I'm sorry. What? You just said classic company oversight.
Yes, it is classic company oversight, but we are not of the same accord. By the way, side note, I do have, I think, a pad and a pen.
Yes.
And
perfect.
I am writing things down.
I love it. You just total
Yes.
clickety clacking. I love it.
Correct. Yes.
He says, "I'm sorry, that just doesn't make logical sense. I thought were agreeing with me, regarding the company."
No, I stated a fact, which is that it is an overuse of company oversight. However, company oversight is necessary for the company to maintain the status quo.
The young man looks at the cowboy hat wearing woman, and she says, "You always have to have one." He says, I guess so. Yeah. He sort of jitters for a second, and then he says, I'm sorry. I don't know who you are. You're on my crew, our crew. A pleasure to meet you. But he raises a sort of nervous hand in your direction, Marcus. Not Marcus's character. Chesterton.
Chesterton does reach his hand out and says, "Yes, we are meeting. It is yet to be determined whether or not it will be pleasurable."
Yes. He sort of doesn't even pay attention to any of the things that he said. Yes. My name is Tan Blatchman, and he sort of motions over to the woman, and she says, "Quintana, Emily Quintana."
It is nice so far to meet you, Ms. Quintana and Mr. What was it?
Blatchman.
Blatchman.
Yes, Tan Blatchman. Yes.
Chesterton Clark.
Chesterton Clark.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you, Doctor, Mr. Doctor, Mr. Clark.
Just Chesterton Clark is fine.
Very well. Yes. Are you're on the scientific crew then? I would assume. Yes.
Correct.
Good. Yes. Okay. Well, then we're all met. Wonderful. We're gonna have a fantastic trip. Fantastic. Very much in line with as you say. Rules of the road, right? Rules of the road have to be followed. Just making sure that rules are not neglected, right? They're not to be laughed at. They're not to be made fun of. They're not to be. Yes. Quintana sort of looks at him and says, "What the hell is up your butt?" What do you mean? What I'm just. Is it that obvious? Yeah, I'm a little nervous in new situations, new social situations, new scientific. This is a scientific discovery that could change the whole of human history. And she says, "You're speaking a lot. Could you just take it easy? Slow down there, Chico." Yes, I will. I am going to get a drink from the bar. He turns slowly and walks down the aisle. Quintana looks at you, Chesterton. She says, "You know there's no bar."
Yes.
Yeah. He's gonna be fun.
Good day then. And then I turn around and walk away.
Okay. All the rest of the people on board this shuttle to the Eonla have different placards on their uniforms. And so, you seem to have met the crew, including yourself, of the UNCSS Solovetsky, except for, of course, each other. So the question I have is, now that you've overheard potentially all these conversations, do any of the five of you wish to talk to each other? You are muted, my friend Ben.
I'm gonna walk up next to Chesterton. Say, damn it, I was really hoping there was a bar.
Yes, that would indeed be nice. But alas, there's not. I look down, just like I'm doing now. I look down at my paper, and then in the silence, I just look back up at him. Like, is that all?
You got any alcohol stashed away? You look like a sciencey type. Maybe you got something brewing in the back room with a bunch of potatoes and bottles.
I'm sure there's some isopropyl to be found somewhere on this vessel, but I get the feeling that that's not going to help the situation that you were looking for.
Probably not.
I see
I'm
things.
going to continue writing.
I see things brewing in Patrick. I'm sorry. I can't wait. Go ahead.
Hearing both of these conversations sort of with mild delays, but also like just sitting around watching people, like he's much happier just sort of being in the tractor and stuff. But I think when he hears all this thing, he starts to get a little antsy again. It's like, I remember there was another ship that I was serving on when we were on another expedition. I think the guy's name was McAuliffe, and he used to just hide alcohol everywhere. And I think Bo, in an attempt to now realizing that there is no escaping tension from multiple fronts where he thought, be polite, be quiet, do the contract, get the money, he's going to start like banging on different parts of the ship looking for secret panels, because I think as a mechanic he would know where the hollow spots are.
Okay.
There's got to be something. I mean, surely there's no way that we're all so uptight that there ain't anything kicking around here. Like, there's got to be, and I'm gonna kick a section that should be like a hollow panel near a service tunnel.
Okay.
Or something like
what
an air duct.
What are you expecting to get out of it? I guess is what I'm asking.
No clue. Any sort of like squirreled away. It doesn't have to be alcohol, but the idea of a hidden stash. Now that we've put this out by the NPCs first.
Yes,
of a bar.
Of course.
Questioning these things. There's an idea brewing and bubbling in my head and percolating. I mean, it could be useful if we had extra supplies. So stuff, we should be distributing those amongst all of us as company policy.
You kick the actual bulkhead to see if something like pops out or something like that.
Yeah.
The bulkhead sort of separates, like the joint itself like separates, and you see like a mass of wires and tubes that sort of flow through this particular section. And then you hear a voice from the front of the shuttle, and this is a voice that you know relatively well, because it is the voice of all individuals that have this particular affliction, the affliction of being a working Joe android.
Oh, God.
Which is that you hear this sort of very stilted, very synthesized voice as it comes towards you, and it says, "Excuse me, I don't believe that is allowed on board this vessel." You see that this individual as well wears a UNCSS Solovetsky Island uniform.
Would I have interacted with this Joe on our ship?
You can't be sure.
before. Sorry, what I. Okay. Listen, Joe, I assume someone else has been here before and is thinking ahead and making sure there's extra supplies for everybody. And I'm gonna like pat him on the shoulder like he's just another worker.
Yep. You say, listen, Joe. He says, I am not designated as Joe. My designation is Miss Sophie.
I can't see you. Well, Miss Sophie, my apologies for mislabeling you. Do you not have anywhere in your memory banks the idea that someone might have said, gee, it would be a good idea to store some extra supplies somewhere, regardless of whether it's alcohol? I'm sure we can get creative with some of the drugs that we know exist with the company. Is it possible that there is something stored somewhere where we could just take a little inspection for ourselves?
Go ahead and make a manipulation roll, Patrick. See if you can manipulate the fuck out of this android.
Technically speaking,
Oh,
would a
God.
complex android count as heavy machinery?
No,
Oh my God, no.
That is not. No. This is the bullshittery that I've come to expect.
I
And-
would like. We're back, baby.
You okay? Go ahead. You're gonna push.
5-5-5-2.
Okay, so none of those are successes.
I'm gonna put both of my hands right
Mm.
on top of the overall straps and just go, Miss Sophie, look at this kind face. You are so stern. There is not a single cracked smile. Did they not program any sort of joy and love into you? Nope.
Okay, that is no successes. So
Man.
Miss Sophie looks at you,
Talking to a brick wall
expressionless.
with this AI.
Just no response at all. Miss Sophie says, I would appreciate it if you would take your seat.
While this is going on,
Yes.
oh sorry. Dot is looking around to determine who among these passengers is the most likely to have booze scrolled away in their luggage.
Are you looking at them, or are you looking at their luggage?
I'm looking at the people trying to determine which one seems the most like the type who would have alcohol scrolled away in their luggage.
Gotcha. I would say that would require... I mean, it could be an observation roll, but I would think it could be just like a straight... Yeah, of the 12 different skills, I think observation probably would come closest to it.
All right. No mod. One success.
Okay. I think that you feel, for some reason or another, that this tall, red-headed lady may have some alcohol stored away somehow or other. You just feel like her general fluidity of movement, like she's super chill.
Then I am going to slip off unnoticed and try to go through her luggage and look for it.
Okay. Bella, do you actually have any alcohol, you think?
Nope.
Okay. So,
But if she should get caught, she's gonna get in
fair,
trouble.
completely fair. So here's what we're gonna do. Dot, make a mobility roll. Let's see how sneaky you are. This will be contested by the successes of Bella's observation roll.
One success.
So this is an example of a contested roll that we can do during the game, either by you guys or by you and the NPCs that I will be portraying.
Whoa.
Okay.
Oh, damn, girl.
That's a lot. So 3 successes, 1 mobility. Looks like Bella does spot you going through her shit. Dot.
That's fine. The dice tell the story.
What happens?
I'm going to, as you said, fluidly, elegantly, gracefully walk over to her, bend down, and very politely say, "Is there something you're looking for, darling?"
Not Bella. Dot's gonna kind of jump for a second because she didn't hear her coming up behind her, and look up and say, "Yeah, those assholes were looking for booze. I was hoping you had some in your luggage and I could steal it and sell it to them, but didn't work out that way. So, no harm, no foul.
This time, I'll give you a pass. Don't let it happen again. You stay out of my things. Am I
Roger
clear?
that. As Crystal. And she just gets the fuck out of there before Bella can decide to be actually mad at her. And goes back to her seat and goes back to drawing on her pants.
Love it.
Is it safe to
I'm
say
going to look
that
through
those
my things to make sure that nothing actually was taken. And
She
then
took
close up my
nothing
bag.
because she was only looking for booze.
There you go.
Is it safe to say that that interaction was happening at the same time as the interaction of Bo and the android?
Yes, I
Yes.
think that's a great. That makes perfect sense.
That was
I
my
would like
intention.
to-
So yes.
I would like to, if I can, now go forward in time and interject at the end of Bo's interaction with this android when he's
Yeah.
like, "Please take your seat."
Yeah.
And I come in and I look at the android and I say, "Excuse me, it seems to me that this crew member was merely trying to perform a routine inspection to perform a complete and thorough inventory of what we have on the ship. And not only is that allowed, but actually encouraged by all crew members."
It sort of moves its head in a jerky fashion, and then looks back at Bo, and then looks over at you, Chesterton, and then it says in that same sort of synthesized voice, "This action was not allowed by UNISC processes. Are you aware of a change to UNISC processes?"
Yes.
Could you detail the change to me so that I can update my databanks?
No need.
Miss Sophie, I believe what the gentleman was trying to say, and I appreciate it, good sir, is that sometimes it is better to ask forgiveness than it is to ask for permission. And I'm just trying to make sure that I can distribute the wealth amongst these fine people here in the cabin with me. What did you say your name again was, sir?
Chesterton.
I'm gonna
Clark.
refer to Clark. Chesterton. Do you mind if I call you Clark? I like people's last names. Single syllable, easier. Everybody gets it delivered. We move on with the sentence. It's very straightforward. Clark, I appreciate you, and I like your directness. Would you like to go hunting for squirreled away things in this little shuttle with me?
No. I would not.
All right, then. Then if you could please explain to Miss Sophie that my banging on panels is just part of my routine inspections as a maintenance worker. I am a pioneer of the terraforming arts, after all. I want to make sure everything is in tip-top shape. And I'm going to, like, loudly, terribly squeal the panel that I kicked back into place. Just, like, try to wedge it in there. And it's just like...
Love it. Love it.
And then find another portion to just be like, oh, maybe over there. Because, like, if it's near the seat on the corner, like, it's accessible by sitting down as well as it is by banging on the panel. And I'm just going to full Fonzie, like, 4 spots. To just, like, bang it in just the right way, or like kick it with the back of my foot, being like, where, if I were to accidentally hit it, what would be the most convenient spot? Because I'm convinced that there is, even if it's not drugs, even if it's just like a spare backpack or like something fell behind, there is so much neglect, and the idea of discovery is apparently really interesting with this character's impulses, so I'm gonna run with it.
Okay. Yeah, it sort of like looks at you just kicking the thing into the wall, and it sort of like it bends down for a second, but then as soon as you kick the panel back in, it sort of straightens up and says to perhaps all of you, perhaps none of you, in a loud voice, "We will be landing at the UNCSS Ianla in approximately 2 minutes. Please prepare for arrival." And then turns and walks back towards the front of the ship.
All right, so it sounds like we've got some time. And now I know his name, and what is your name, kid? Because I like your gumption. You were also a searcher. Do you do this professionally? I probably wouldn't have noticed Dot until. Own it. You got to own it. Be confident.
Yes, I
miss, what is your name?
professionally look for things. Dot.
It's a good talent to have. Listen, having sharp eyes is very important.
Okay.
And miss, what is your name? I
Yeah.
look over to Bella.
My name is Bella. Bella Rose. And as she says it, she looks at the kid, pulls a flask out of her jacket pocket, and takes a swig and puts it back.
I knew it. I fucking knew it, Julie.
Mhm. And
Then just
Bella
kind of winks
kind
at the
of-
kid.
That is what we're talking about.
Dot just kind of shrugs at her. She's like,
Amazing.
nothing ventured,
Bella
nothing
Rose, you
gained.
have the most showmanship I have seen on any of these ships in the last 2 tours of my terraforming experiences. How do you do it?
We all have our gifts, love. Maybe someday you can tell me about yours. She just kind of touches his nose, like.
Woo! This is getting spicy in the first
There's
fucking
a little-
episode.
There's a little
Bard's gonna bard, baby.
curl of red. There's a little curl of red above the bandana as he goes, "I'm good with my hands," and fumbles through the words.
I bet you
And
are.
and you, he's gonna pivot real quick on his heel and go, "And you, soldier, you seem to be good at bossing people around, and I respect that in a man."
Sorry, there's no soldiers here, but yes, Marines are good at that.
Oh, Marine, is that better than a soldier? I don't know the difference.
Most definitely. Much to their dismay.
Understood. Do you prefer if I call you Marine, or would you like me to call you by name or a rank? What do you like?
How about Savage?
Savage. Oh man, you sounded so deep and concerned. Well, that's pretty cool. You're savage. I like that. We got all these hard guttural sounds with these names over here, and then these eloquent flowery sounds. I'm Bo, by the way, and I'm gonna stick my hand out in each of their faces and just go down the line.
Shake his hand. It's nice to meet you, Bo.
Beaucephus Jones is my full name. My middle name, I don't remember it. It was very hard to pronounce. My mom couldn't spell it very much. But if it comes to making machines work, I'm pretty good at it, and I think it could come in handy. It's not the same as what you do. I can't point a gun that way. I could throw something heavy, but that's about it.
Well,
She seems good at
good at
talking,
blowing
and
them up.
this one
You're
seems
good
good
at
at finding
fixing
stuff. There you go. Listen, I can fix anything. I once made a washing machine work for an extra 92 days before it blew up and actually took out the sidewall of the house.
A massive speaker blares in your ears as you hear, "The UNCSS Ianla is now boarding this ship. Please prepare for arrival." The engines flare to life as you feel the inertia of the ship and all of its gravitational yaw sort of pull to the left, and then you feel a as your ship docks with the Ianla. Secured to its docking ring, alongside, as you look out the window, the three other SEVs, science vessels, that you see. The Sindisi, the Chimata no Kami, and the Typhoon. You see the names of these ships plastered on their dorsal fins. And as clamps thunder shut, you board the vessel. The Ianla's captain greets you as you all board the vessel. And he is a tall, very sort of grizzled older man. Salt and pepper, black and white hair, dark skin, perhaps of African descent. His name is Tadesse Kondwani. And he says, "Crew members, we will be bringing all current crew to the cryo deck to begin our expansive and long-winded trip to the edge of the solar system. We'd appreciate if you would separate into your crews and advance to the cryo decks. Put yourselves in hypersleep." And he sort of points in various directions. Gate C, Gate B, and Gate A. And Gate D. He mentions the other 3 ships, and to your ship, he says Gate D. You all begin moving towards that gate. You see all of the other people who you met, all of the other crew members who you've met. Briefly, albeit, on your way to the Yanla. There is, at the far end of the corridor of Gate D, a very recognizable android. Not that it is a working Joe, but that it is a member of the android design or model that you are relatively familiar with. It's been around for about 150 years, and it's still in operation. This is the David model. Those of you who are familiar with some of the more recent Alien movies, this is the model that is portrayed by Michael Fassbender. So I actually have a handout for this individual. Here he is.
Not creepy at all.
It's okay. He's gonna check on the children.
Not a kid.
Perfection. He sort of unlaces his fingers from his sort of his midsection. He says, "Hello, crew of the UNCSS Sovietsky Island. I am Gaius. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I will be your contact, your attaché aboard the Yanla. As we enter this portion of our arranged God, why can't I think tonight? Of our arranged relationship, I would ask you all to please remove unnecessary portions of clothing, put your gear in the appropriate storage racks, and enter the cryotubes.
Define unnecessary.
Anything beyond underwear or the appropriate undergarments that would be obscuring parts to which you may find yourselves uncomfortable."
Getting down to the skivvies.
Chesterton
Excuse me,
writes that
Mr.
down.
Mr. Attaché person, if you have information, can you tell me if Remus Gale is still awake, or is he already in cryo?
Checking. His head sort of tilts for a second. He blinks. According to the local records, Remus Gale has been put into cryosleep. That is correct.
Figures. All right, thanks, dude. And she'll just go and start undressing and putting her shit away.
How about the rest of you? Do you go straight into cryo?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think Bo is going to find a locker for all of his sort of mechanic wear and his the maintenance jack, monkey wrench sort of thing. Obviously, taking mech gear and heavy machinery into cryo, not so much. I will think that he's probably going to do 1 or 2 last sort of bangs for any sort of secret compartment. Just being like, I'm going to find the corner locker.
That kind of shit? Yeah.
And then just down to a sort of like a little gray wife beater and whatever shorts come with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the boots are neatly folded. The jumpsuit is sort of like thrown on in, and then the bandana is just sort of placed on top of it.
Cool.
Still covered in grease when he jumps into the cryotube, though.
Wonderful. The rest of you as well? Chesterton? Bella?
Bella's gonna tie her hair up, which is quite long, up on top of her head, a little messy bun thing. She leaves her necklace on and just tucks that inside of her shirt and climbs on in. She feels no any kind of inhibitions about getting changed in front of everybody. It's like, whatever. Doesn't really care.
Cool.
Chesterton very neatly folds all of his clothes. He also doesn't have any inhibitions, but that's because he's not aware that he should. And everything is nice and neatly folded. And when he lays in the cryotube, whatever the illustration of how to lay in a cryotube was, and whatever handbook they got is how he lays. So whether it's straight down or something like this or whatever it is, he goes straight to that.
Okay.
Yeah, Dot stuff is literally just jammed into a locker haphazardly. It throws her clothes on top. But she does keep her socks on, and she takes the multi-tool with her into the cryotube.
Cool. All right. The rest of the crew members that you've met also file in order and join you in the cryotubes. Gaius opens up a terminal and enters in some information. You see the Mother interface, the Mother 9000 interface appear, if albeit briefly, on the ship, on the screen, I should say. And then, slowly but surely, you hear other sounds, the sounds of other machines, other computers working in tandem to bring your cryotubes into possible, into actual working order. The daughter computer that works in tandem with Mother flickers lights, and your canopy starts to close. Gaius says, "See you in 2 years." And the last thing that you see is the distorted image of Miss Sophie staring at all of you. And the last thing that you hear is the whisper of this distorted voice saying, "Sleep well." And that is where we are going to stop for tonight.
Creepy ass androids.
Good, I'm gonna be 16 when we wake up.
All right. That's it.
I'm feeling
That's session 0.
Dot's gonna wake up and whatever clothes she kept on are gonna be way too small.
Technically speaking, cryosleep basically stops all normative processes within your body. So you will awaken. And that's the reason why Ripley, having gone to sleep for 52 years, didn't get any older.
Yeah,
Right.
good point.
Okay. So time
Sweet.
Time passes, but we will find out what happens the next time we come back to the Lost Worlds. Oh my God, we did it.
Nice.
We
Yay.
fucking did it. I can't wait to get all of the art and get all of the like overlays and all that stuff going for this campaign. It's gonna be a fucking hoot. Just from the way you guys are already interacting in the first session, I'm so jazzed. I'm so jazzed. So yeah, we're done for tonight, folks. Thank you all, of course, for hanging out with us in chat, and thank you all for watching this on YouTube. We're gonna have more of the Lost Worlds coming at you monthly as we work through this amazing campaign. I'm looking forward to it. I hope y'all are too. Until we see each other again, we've talked about where everybody's at and where they can be found. So I think we can sort of bypass that until we see each other again next time. So I will just go ahead and say that we've got a whole lot of stuff coming on Slices and Dices that you guys should check us out on Twitch. We've got a lot of stuff. We've got Call of Cthulhu. We've got Ravenloft. We've got obviously Alien. We've got Burn Bright. We've got Vaesen. We've got all the other one-shots that people are brewing and thinking up so that they can also come to this amazing channel and be brilliant on. I am super, super fucking psyched. So unless anyone else has anything else to say, I'll say what we always say here on Slices and Dices. Nobody? Anybody? Last chance.
You want to say it?
I'll say it. I say it. Might as well fucking keep saying it, which is, remember, folks, take care of each other. But do not forget to take care of yourselves. See you soon, folks.
Welcome to Wayland